full commentary now on 5 Live Sport with Pat Nevin and our football correspondent, John Murray.
And as you hand to us, everyone in the stand in front of us raises themselves to their feet and lifts their camera phones into the air, and it feels like every single person in the main stand here is taking pictures or a video of the teams walking out onto the pitch. And we have a scene around the stadium here of, well, it's not a Champions League occasion if you haven't got a massive mosaic or a massive banner or a massive picture at one end of the ground, but we've got the whole lot here in the Parc des Princes. They've handed out blue and red flags. They are being waved all around the stadium. Blue in the lower tier, red in the upper tier. The rain is absolutely tipping down into the Parc des Princes here in the southwest of the French capital, and the big banners to our left, the montage features a huge Champions League ball, the skyline of Paris, and a young kid in a Paris Saint-Germain kit who is volleying a logo that says Allez Paris. I think, Pat, they're expecting to get through tonight.
Yeah, and it is fabulous, this place in the Champions League night. Been a few times now, and anyone who hasn't been, I met some friends downstairs who hadn't been before, are saying the great thing about it, on top of all this showmanship that's here, is that you have got two sets of fans, one behind one goal, one behind the other goal, that are ultras, and they sing against each other, and it leads to the most incredible thing. Oh, they're doing a funny thing now. They're throwing, is it balls or balloons down that mosaic there?
I think they've ripped up the flags, and I think they're throwing the red and blue elements of the flags down onto the bottom tier below.
Yeah. I mean, it's beautifully choreographed, this, and usually it is incredibly noisy as well. And they've started out, even though they know it's a Manchester United side this weekend, it's Manchester United, and if PSG want to be considered one of the top Champions League and European clubs, you've got to beat the likes of Manchester United, and it'll be a massive fella in their cap if they can beat them tonight, and they want to beat Man United well.
Well, it is the first time that Manchester United have come here to Paris, to the Parc des Princes, for a European match, but it looks like it's a lost cause. 3 weeks ago at Old Trafford, Paris Saint-Germain turned up. They became the first French club to beat Manchester United there in the European competitions, and they inflicted Manchester United's heaviest margin of defeat in a European home match ever. So, unsurprisingly, Thomas Tuchel has picked the same team, which is Buffon in goal. There's actually a little bit of talk yesterday whether it might be Areola, but it is Buffon. Back four of Kehrer, not Meunier, he's on the bench. Thiago Silva, Prenel Kimpembe and Juan Bernat. Then Marquinhos and Verratti with Draxler in the middle. Dani Alves on the right. Angel Di Maria on the left, who did so well at Old Trafford. And then 29-goal Kylian Mbappe up front. And the Manchester United team, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer picking three central defenders. Lindelof, Smalling and Bailly, with David De Gea. I think it's going to be Bailly playing on the right-hand side and Lindelof on the left, of Smalling in the middle. Yeah, that's how they're lining up. Young on the right, Shaw on the left. This midfield of McTominay, Pereira and Fred, who was 26 yesterday, Fred. And then Lukaku and Rashford up front. And both coaches said yesterday, Pat, before we get underway, the first goal will be all-important.
Yes, and I'm sure it will be. If it's not for Man United, it could be a complete lost cause. However, there's just a few things about it. One thing I just considered as I watched the teams walking out, three big centre-backs, Lukaku with his power and pace, they're going to be good in the air.
Off we go in the Parc des Princes. Manchester United in the pink shirts, white shorts and pink socks, sort of dusky pink it is, firing the ball forward towards Romelu Lukaku. And Paris Saint-Germain in their change kit, the very dark kit with the red and white trim. Immediately Di Maria is challenged by Young, and it's a free kick to Paris Saint-Germain. We've seen this before from Angel Di Maria. And Ashley Young, incidentally, is the Manchester United player who is one yellow card away from missing Manchester United's next match. He's given quite a tough time at Old Trafford by a combination of Di Maria and Mbappe. But he's okay, Di Maria, and it's going to be a free kick to Paris Saint-Germain just inside the
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you've got to get a few tackles in early on, and that's exactly what Manchester United have done there. I thought it was quite a good, strong tackle, that.
You said it was actually Fred.
I think it may have been Fred who did it, came over. However, just looking at the way Man United are lining up here, it kind of is almost looking like a 4-4-2. Look at Young. He's playing really quite neat in front, and over on the right-hand side, it is a back four. Okay. Much to my surprise, and I think everyone's surprised, that's exactly the way it's at. And I don't know if that's a really good idea. Having said that, Ashley Young will play two positions. When they've not got the ball, or when they're really deep in defence, he'll move back there. But as we speak just now, John, in front of us, we see a 4-4-2.
Yeah. However, it does mean the way that they are lining up at the moment that Bernat at the moment has got the freedom of the left wing out there as the ball is played across. Lukaku is onto this on the edge of the area. Lukaku around the goalkeeper. He scored! Paris Saint-Germain all over the place at the back, and Manchester United take a second-minute lead. Rashford pounced onto it, laid it through for Lukaku, who rolled the challenge. He took a heavy touch, but the pace was terrific to get there, and from a tight angle on the stretch, he managed to slot it away across goal and in, and the early goal has gone to Manchester United here in the Parc des Princes. PSG 0, Manchester United 1.
And the volume has just risen all the way around this place. What we're talking about, everybody talked about, both managers talked about before the game, the first goal is important. Well, when the first goal was scored is important as well. The two moments in the game that Lukaku's been involved, one he scored, and the other one, he had a great battle on the right-hand side right at the start. And there, we asked for the game that Lukaku provided in the World Cup where he is unplayable. He started that way.
Romelu Lukaku scores what is his 5th goal in 3 appearances, and that has lifted Manchester United as you would expect it would. So now it's 2-1 on aggregate. Let's see how Paris Saint-Germain cope with that. I have to say, it wasn't too clever, and now Kera's lost possession to Rashford, whose cross is cleared away at the near post, and then there's a foul, and actually there's a reaction as well from Dani Alves, who was up and shoving Andreas Pereira away, and the referee, experienced, one of the most experienced European referees, Damir Skomina of Slovenia, is immediately called the two players across, Dani Alves and young Pereira, and told them to cut it out, basically.
Do you know the two players who want to wind up in that PSG side are Dani Alves and Verratti. If you do Verratti and him and wind them up enough, they'll react. And Dani Alves has already reacted once there. By the way, the point you make about the two wide players, Alves on the right-hand side and over the far side, Bernat there, yeah, it is quite scary because they have got a lot of space, but Man United have to take chances.
Here is Dani Alves crossing from the right-hand side, but Smalling got it well, headed it down to Rashford. Rashford stabs the ball back into his own half. Lindelof had to stretch for that, and PSG back in possession. That looked like a foul by Fred. It was on Verratti, and it's a free kick just to the right of the centre circle for Paris Saint-Germain. If you've switched on late, if you've just joined us, Manchester United are already 1-0 up. On several broadcasts today, Pat, I did tell listeners to be with us right from the start.
You did. I heard you say it time and again, from the start. Apart from the build-up before the game, but from the start, because you knew that Manchester United would have to have some sort of game plan. I'm so impressed by how positive it is. You know, really trying to get in the faces of their opponents here and tackling hard in that midfield. Now, that's dangerous because you know it's like the Champions League. You can get yellow cards easily. Worry about that later.
You see now, Pat, as you mentioned, just when Paris Saint-Germain have the ball over on the left-hand side and it's deflected out of play, Bernat wins a free kick. Suddenly, United drop into a back five. Here's Di Maria getting away on the left-hand side. His cross deflects off Smalling, but Lindelof is able to come across and volley it away downfield. It's lifted back over the top by Verratti. Bernat now in the the right back position, crosses. That's headed away by Smalling. Back out towards the left-hand side. Verratti has the ball. PSG playing from left to right as we look, and the ball is swung out to Dani Alves, the experienced Brazilian Champions League winner time and again with Barcelona. He plays it back and further back towards Junqueira, the right back, the German international. Now Thiago Silva to the left-hand side to Kimpembe, who scored the opening goal, remember, at Old Trafford 3 weeks ago, which was his first and only goal for Paris Saint-Germain. Smalling steps through, wins the ball against Di Maria, the former Manchester United man. Paris Saint-Germain still with it. Here's Verratti. Verratti now with a little ball in field, which is turned on here to the right-hand side. Dani Alves back towards Verratti. Now Dani Alves again. This is concerted Paris Saint-Germain possession inside the Manchester United half. Draxler plays it square. Now it's being taken on by Kimpembe. Di Maria turns and slips the ball through for Bernat. Bernat's ball across, just evades Mbappe in the middle, who was stretching for it with an outstretched right leg. That was inches away from Mbappe getting contact on that and making it 1-1. Again, Bernat now. Bernat looks for Di Maria. Di Maria to the byline, cuts it back. Mbappe with a shot. That's blocked by Smalling. Bounces down into the box, deflects right across the penalty area. Here to the PSG right, where it is out of play for a throw-in that Draxler will take.
Well, that problem that we mentioned right at the start on that far left-hand side for PSG, but the right-hand side for Manchester United, they have got to the byline twice in a few seconds there. And for the listener, the goal that Mbappe nearly scored there was an absolute copy of the goal he scored against Manchester United. He runs behind the two centre-backs there, ball played onto the left-hand side and nearly gets there. We'll talk in a moment about the tactics of what Manchester United are employing there. But I should mention Roberto Martinez, who did exactly the same in the World Cup when Belgium played against Brazil.
PSG 0, Manchester United 1. This is the commentary live from inside the Parc des Princes on BBC Radio, on 5 Live, and also good evening as well to listeners on BBC Radio Manchester. Here come PSG again, stung by that early Lukaku goal. Here's Di Maria, weaving infield. Di Maria, though, runs into McTominay, who comes across with the challenge. Then Verratti tidies up, gives it to Bernat, who's seen a lot of the ball. Scored here against Liverpool in the group before Christmas, remember. Now Verratti for Paris Saint-Germain, who won the group ahead of Liverpool. Now this tie is back in the balance, 2-1 on aggregate. Thiago Silva, the experienced PSG captain, 34 years old, has the ball at his feet, turns it to his right to Kimpembe.
I think they were nervous, John. I think they were nervous at the start, PSG. Then they lost the goal. But they've passed it so well since then that they really have got into the rhythm now quite quickly. It could be a long, long night for that Manchester United defence and defensive midfield.
Di Maria, 25 yards out, tries to lift the ball into the area, but Fred was there. Just a little hop from him to head it away, finds its way back to Bernat again on the left-hand side. Bernat looks up, he's overhit that cross. It's beyond everyone, whether they be in a pink or indeed in a black PSG outfit. It's out of play.
They keep on getting to that line, don't they, John, on the left-hand side? And it's not difficult for them to go down there. Bernat's most of the times the player is getting there. And I think there's a part of it, I think they're allowing it to some degree, as if to say, right, cross it in. We've got 3 centre-backs that will go in there at that point, and you have to beat them in the air. And in that, you've not got Cavani in there. You've not got a very tall player in there. I remember watching Real Madrid do very similar things to Barcelona. Shove them wide, then you need to win the cross. And maybe they're thinking along those lines as well.
1-0 to Manchester United. But be warned, Paris Saint-Germain have scored in every game that they've played this season. Kimpembe doing very well against Lukaku. That got a huge cheer from the ultras behind the goal to our left, who are waving and twirling all of their red, white and blue flags. Goal kick that Buffon takes. Buffon, who was beaten, I think, almost before he had a touch of the ball tonight after his clean sheet at Old Trafford. And it's the last 23 European matches in which Paris Saint-Germain have scored in every one. Actually, the last team that they failed to score against in Europe was a Manchester team, Manchester City. Here, Di Maria, low cross. It's reached Dani Alves in the box. He plays it in towards Mbappe in the middle, but excellently defended by Smalling against Kylian Mbappe, who had another sniff there, Pat.
Yeah, I know, and it's another left-hand cross, then a right-hand cross to follow it. It's too easy for them to get those crosses in. I mean, there's lots to like about the tactics of Manchester United. There's very few teams in the world they can allow to get to the byline time and time and time again, and they don't score.
Thomas Tuchel, the Bavarian coach, standing on the edge of his technical area and applauding, hands in the air, applauding He likes the way that his team have responded here.
Yeah. Do you mean, I honestly would be tempted to say to Young, no, just get back there.
Yeah.
You know, really.
I agree with you, Pat.
It's so obvious that they're getting so much joy in that left-hand side, PSG just now.
Every time Bernat comes forward, and here's Dani Alves on the right-hand side, but he's very quickly closed down by Luke Shaw. And, however, Dani Alves plays it into the penalty area. Marquinhos is there, but Marquinhos had McTominay with him, so just pops it back out here to the right-hand side. Rain continuing to fall as Dani Alves plays it in. Mbappe's ball across, and it's 1-1. Bernat arrives at the back post. Side foot finish, just 3 or 4 yards out, and Paris Saint-Germain equalise on the night. And this time, it's a slick move from Paris Saint-Germain, and it's Kylian Mbappe, the provider for Bernat.
Yeah, and far too many crosses. This time it was from the right-hand side, but it was far too easy to get into those positions. It's the worst position to defend from, and just a little bit too often. And you can see there's an argument right now between Ashley Young arguing with I'm trying to see who it is. Actually, it's Lindelof he's arguing with there, saying you should be marking him. Lindelof is saying no, you shouldn't be marking him. Problem is, neither of them have marked him at any point in the game so far.
So this is the sound of the Parc des Princes.
Well, you know, it's still Manchester United. They need 2 goals now again, back sort of to square one, but you knew they were going to have a tough night. The problem is, since they scored the goal, they've been up the pitch once, and they need to hold that up a little bit more often. Lukaku
Heading the ball through for Rashford, who has to make a diagonal run and gets there ahead of Kehrer, the right back. Excellent play from Rashford, using the pace. Pereira's touch was heavy though, and Paris Saint-Germain win the ball back. It's chested back by Di Maria. And so Bernat just mentioned the fact that he scored here against Liverpool. That is the 3rd important goal that the left back has scored for Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League this season. Scored in that match against Liverpool, scored in Naples in the group against Napoli, and now has equalised here and has made the Parc des Princes feel a great deal happier.
They were edgy without panicking. You know, after losing the goal, they passed the ball incredibly well, looking to where the spaces would be. Good players and good teams find the spaces. Found again.
Di Maria away from Bailly down the left-hand side, chips it across. Dani Alves arriving, and he's volleyed it horribly high over the top of the crossbar, probably 15 yards over the top of the bar from 16 or 17 yards out, and it lands on that blue tarpaulin behind the goal.
He's got 1-on-1 there on the left-hand side, Di Maria, against Lindelof. That's just a no contest. He's not a right full-back against a top-quality wide player like that. And he would just beating all ends up. Once again, another easy cross, left-hand side. There's so many crosses. I mean, the domination with possession just now is quite incredible from PSG. But it's more the you expect that. You put it up there, you take that. But you have to make sure you limit the amount of chances. Far, far too many. And that right-hand side is just a shambles at the moment for United.
Yeah. 5 Live and BBC Manchester. And it is Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 1. The United lead lasted for 10 minutes. Lukaku in the 2nd minute, but Juan Bernat making it 1-1 on the night. So it's now 3-1 on aggregate to the French champions and league leaders, and they have indeed now scored in all 41 matches they've played in all competitions this season. Paris Saint-Germain, they've lost only 3 of those matches. One of them was at Anfield, remember, in the group in the first match against Liverpool,
and they were quite rubbish. They were awful that night,
most of that match.
They were absolutely hopeless. But the point is, Mbappe he needs a second, and he's created the goal. He's got an assist again tonight. He's actually done very little else. But we were talking about, you know, the genius of his pace, the fact that he's a natural goal scorer, all those sort of things. The reason why I think he's a real world-class player, and probably will be the best player in the world at some point, is because Simeone needs to make the right pass. He makes it. Yeah. He's not one of those players that's always going for the score. He will make the right pass when it's on, and that was another one of those occasions when he did it.
Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 1. Excellent summarising phrase from you there, Pat. They were quite rubbish.
Yeah.
You don't hear that phrase.
I was going to say rotten, but I went for rubbish instead.
Here is Dani Alves on the right-hand side. Dani Alves strokes the ball forward from Mbappe, who shoots from the angle but into the side netting. Crikey. Mbappe again. Good grief. Lindelof. Good luck with that.
It's good. I mean, it is scary, and that's why the expectation was you'd play three at the back, because you had somebody who'd mark and somebody would just sit off. The problem is they're not doing that just now.
We've not got a lot of space here, have we? We're both trying to put a little glass of water down in the same 4 square inches.
Both of them are yours.
Yeah.
The award-winning John Murray hand. Both.
Don't you start. Don't you?
I've left it quite long.
Yeah, I did leave it long.
It's 2 days.
You did. It's 1-1. 1-1 here, 3-1 on aggregate to Paris Saint-Germain. It's just occurred to me that we were promised a television tonight as well, weren't we? We're let down again. We'll have to watch the one that everybody else is watching in the ground. Back it goes to the centre circle, to Thiago Silva. I would like to see that first goal again, because I mean Paris Saint-Germain was so lackadaisical.
The midfield just closed down well. I mean, in Manchester United in that first period there had the midfielders all making tackles. Surprise, surprise! Guess where they've gone again?
Down the right for Paris Saint-Germain. Bernat can't reach the pass from Verratti.
You just watch it. Immediately, Young turns round and says to Lindelof, "What are you doing? Why are you not further out there?" And I'd immediately thought his manager said, "Look, play as a type 4." Now, if he said play as a type 4,
he must have done.
He must have done, because he's not getting anywhere near the right back position. He's staying almost as a right centre back of a 4. But then you can't play, Ashley Young as a right midfielder.
But it's not been addressed, and the man who's playing there has scored for Paris Saint-Germain.
To be fair, I'm not looking there all the time. I'm looking down to my left-hand side all the time. I mean, it's the far side for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You think he would want to get a message over to slightly adapt that, but it's the far side from him. Can he get that across?
What is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wearing?
It looks like one of the bibs that you wear to get in
I'll
here.
tell you what it is, because he's got a black coat on, and Paris Saint-Germain are wearing black.
Well spotted.
So he's got a gold. It's not a maillot jaune, is it?
No, it's not jaune.
It's not quite jaune. It's maillot gold. I feel like I should know what the French for gold is.
So do I. Someone will text us. Juliette,
as they call her here in the French capital. Here, Paris Saint-Germain with Draxler, who's seen very little of the ball. Here's Di Maria, now to the left-hand side. Kimpembe struggling to keep it in, and Bailly very quickly on the scene to clear it out of play 3/4 of the way up the...
It's hard to know what Kimpembe's doing up there. I mean, he shouldn't be up there. But that's a clever... We were talking about it earlier on. When Kimpembe goes out wide there, Marquinhos just drops in back there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
They've got centre-backs there of the quality of him, who see what the play is, always talking to each other. Good knowledge of the game as well. They've moved the ball really, really well in this game so far, and they look quite comfortable. They look very, very comfortable. It's imperative that you try and get Lukaku dangerous again at some point.
Played into Mbappe on the edge of the area, volleys it to Di Maria, now across to Bernat again, who shoots straight at De Gea, who's able to parry it away. That should have been PSG in the lead on the night. Bernat, who's already scored, effectively shot straight at De Gea at pace, but should have buried it.
Right, we're being kind here. You can't to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You've got to do something, mate. You really got to do something. You've got to do something quick. You could have actually lost 4 goals, but now in exactly that same position. Now, I'm sure he's seen it, and I'm sure his coaches have seen it as well. That, there's a massive, stupid amount of space. As we're watching it now, there are 2 PSG players standing in that space, neither being marked at the moment. You've got to be able to see that.
Yeah, that's just, again, explain, because this is a key part tactically of this game.
It's where they're losing it. We thought they would go with a back 5. What they did is went with a back 4, and you pushed Ashley Young as a right midfielder. But Lindelof will not go out to the right back area. He's staying far too central.
Bailly.
It was Bailly this time, yeah, that's right, Bailly. So he's not going out. He will not go out there. And because he doesn't want to go out there, and there is an overlap as we speak again.
Di Maria shoots, and it's right across the face of goal. He struck that so well, Di Maria. It flew to De Gea's left, full-length dive from him, and Di Maria holds his head.
I think you're right there. I said Lindelof couple times. I meant Bailly. Each time he's been out there. but he won't go far enough out. He's far too central. He's just a centre-back who doesn't want to play right-back. It's as simple as that. He doesn't want to go out there. Either that or oh no, there's a shout over from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just now, and he's pointing as if to say, get wider, get wider.
It's Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 1. And PSG have got the ball inside their own half. So it's 3-1 on aggregate to the French champions. Still Porto 0, Roma 0 incidentally in the Dragao. We'll be there in the summer, Pat. Well, you won't, unfortunately. You'll be here in France, won't you?
Exactly.
At the Women's World Cup.
Looking forward to it already, and looking at the Cyprus Cup, and obviously She Believe Cup has been brilliant. Obviously for England it was fantastic as well. But
we're going to hear from Phil Neville, by the way, at half-time, an interview with the England coach, the victorious coach, who's actually with us at Old Trafford for the first leg of this, Philip Neville. Here's Di Maria again on the left-hand side. Everything for Paris Saint-Germain is coming down that flank because Thomas Tuchel and the Paris Saint-Germain players have sensed this issue that Manchester United have on their right side of defence.
It's so obvious. I mean, to be honest, I would be shocked by them if they hadn't spotted it early on, because it was a talking point before the game if you're going to play with, a five at the back or a four at the back, and if you put a centre back out there, he's not comfortable. But then when you saw the misunderstanding right from the start from both of those players, from Bailly and from Ashley Young. And Ashley Young's not changing, by the way. He's still playing the 4-4-2. It's directly in front of us. We can't miss it here.
But again, Bailly comes right across.
Again.
With as if it was a three central defender.
And his arms up going, is this right? I really think there's confusion. And I think if they were the near side here, I think the manager would change it right away. He's got to get a message on.
We should know what we should both know what the French for gold is.
See, I would think it was
well, there is a very obvious football connotation with gold. Here is Di Maria, who wriggles away through to the edge of the penalty area, back onto his right foot. Still Di Maria with the ball. Bernat available. Bernat's cross and out swinger to the back post. Dani Alves went for a spectacular bicycle kick round about neck height, but missed it completely, and the ball's out for a throw-in to Manchester United in the left-back position.
Put me out of my misery. I'm thinking Ori or something.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because in football, of course, the best player in the world wins the Ballon d'Or.
You always go to the Latin. It helps a lot.
I don't know. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 1. And people in their cars all over the UK
shouting at us being idiots.
Yes, idiots, you don't know what it is. Anyway, there we are, quarter of the way.
They're right, of course.
Yes, of course they are. The customer's always right. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 1, 3-1 PSG lead after Manchester United were in front in the second minute. Incidentally, Juliette has shown me a replay of the opening goal. It was careless pass to the edge of the area, but Lukaku had an awful lot of work to do and did it brilliantly. And here he is now, an excellent touch from Lukaku, who plays the ball back into his own half to Fred. With that goal, Lukaku has now scored 14 for United this season. United lose it though, Pereira, and now it's taken forward by Draxler, but Mbappe couldn't find the pass back to Draxler, otherwise he would have been clean through.
It was the right pass, it was a brilliant pass. And the midfield has been utterly dominated now by PSG, and maybe that's not a surprise.
Mbappe, lovely pass from Mbappe to the left-hand side. Di Maria's cross. The outstretched right foot of Bailly deflects it behind into the hoardings for a corner.
It was a lovely pass, and Bailly was just trying to get up for it, and it's just over his head. There was nothing he could do about it. And once again, the cross was going to come in. But he defended that one, and again, it's really funny to see two players just constantly shouting at each other and still not doing anything about it.
Young and Bailly.
Yeah, having said all that, I mean, they have to take chances in this game. They're behind, they're 2 goals down, and they have to take chances. The problem is they're not getting up front often enough.
PSG corner into the near post. Kera tried to flick it on. Now Thiago Silva turns and shoots. There's no offside flag. I was like you, I thought there might be.
He actually started moving it up, and then he changed his mind. I think he was waiting for the touch.
But also, they tell them to delay it in the Champions League, which is probably what he was doing. Let's hope the televisions are working pitch side for VAR tonight. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 1. Another dramatic night, Champions League football. Tottenham already through. Luke Shaw's in danger of losing possession here deep inside his own half. He has. Draxler has got it. The two number 23s together, Draxler and Shaw. Now Mbappe. Mbappe's pass for once misplaced, out of play from the wonder kid. And it's a throw into Manchester United.
One of the things you'd like if you're Manchester United, because you've been under such pressure, so many chances and half chances been created against you, if you could only get it, hold the ball up a bit in the midfield, just calm it down a little bit. Problem is they haven't got a midfield that can do that just now, and they've been harassed there, and it's given them no chance at all to get a breather.
First goal of the night in the other tie. John Bennett's watching the pictures.
Crucial goal for Porto. They deserve it. Porto 1, Roma 0. Tiquinho with the goal, Marega with the cross. It means as it stands, Porto heading through 2-2 on aggregate. They have an away goal.
And if you are in your car on the way home calling us a couple of idiots, when you get home, you can continue to listen to the two idiots via iPlayer, red button. Just click on 5 Live final score and we'll have all of the graphics and whatnot. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 1. Back to De Gea, who clears from the edge of the 6-yard box. Lukaku beaten in the air by Thiago Silva. Luke Shaw is backing away because Rashford is bundled over by Dani Alves, and it's a free kick just inside the United half.
Yeah, well done there. You need to get a little bit more of that. Try and hold it. And if it means getting a foul, take a little bit of time. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now, we've just seen the strangest ball.
Oh, dear. Shaw's taken a free kick from near the halfway line. He tried to play it diagonally back across the pitch to Bailly, who'd just been told by Solskjaer to move right across, Bailly, but it was 20 yards behind him and out for a throw to PSG.
He was even too far in for that. That cross. I don't think he wants to play that far out, Mr. Bailly. We'll not mention that again, but it is a mess.
I have to say, Pat, it looks as though they weren't ready yet to play the system that they're trying to play.
Yeah, and it's just an unusual system. You're asking a lot of the right midfielder who's going to have to be a wing back, but he's not playing like that. And then you're asking a centre back to be a right back, but he's not playing like that either. So it's actually both of them are compounding the problem for them. But having said that, you know, you're against a good team here who see that there is weakness and they immediately try to exploit it.
Juliette has just shown me a graphic which says that Paris Saint-Germain have got 86% possession. Doesn't feel like...
No, it does to me. Yep, I would say that sounded right.
Does it? Right. Oh, Rashford. There's a slip by Kera. Rashford's away down the left-hand side into the penalty area. Drives it right across. I think Buffon might have got a touch to that. No, he didn't. No. It's a goal kick.
No, to be fair, but that's what you need to hope and pray for. There's going to be moments like that. You almost have to take every chance they come when they come. They go to sleep a little bit now and again there. I think he was a bit half-hearted there. I think he's between a shot and a pass into the middle there for Lukaku and didn't commit to it. He's got to commit to that. And to be fair, I think he could have taken it 3 or 4 yards further into the box.
Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 1, BBC Radio 5 live from Paris, BBC Manchester as well. And you know what we said about the first goal being all important? Now the third goal of the match,
yes, similarly so,
is all important. Fred with the two wristbands on, white wristbands, stretches and plays it back to Lindelof.
The big problem you've actually got just now for Manchester United, apart from systematically, you've actually got a problem of, right, OK, we're going to change this and go different in the second half. Not sure you can.
Here's Bailly, who's decided he's going to play as a right winger. Plays the ball infield. It's reached Rashford. 30 yards out. Rashford has a goal. Buffon spilled it. Lukaku scores. It's 2-1 Manchester United. What an awful error by the great Gianluigi Buffon. 41 years old. I have to say there, he looked it. And he spilled it right into the path of Lukaku, who was on the spot, left foot. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 2.
You could not see that coming in a million years. 86%, possession against them. They're creating chance after chance, cross after cross after cross. They get up the pitch twice there. First time was a shot by Rashford. He didn't commit to it. The second time he committed to the shot, and it's the bounce in front of the goalkeeper which has foxed him completely. And by the way,
here's Di Maria, who's in on the left-hand side but plays the ball. He was looking to just cushion it into the path of Mbappe, but actually just got it wrong, and De Gea was able to juggle and pick it up.
Look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just now
signalling to Bailly.
It's constantly. He needs some semaphore flags out there. It's the only way he's going to get across to him and get the message that he must get across to him at some point.
Well, Young stumbles on the halfway line. McTominay though in. Good challenge from McTominay on Di Maria. Bailly is fouled by Verratti, and it's a free kick, and Verratti does the old
stay down.
Hands in front of his nose. He has stayed down, Bailly.
Yes, really important. Stay down now. Try and get somebody in and give information while you're over there. It's exactly what's happening. Look at what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's doing now. He's saying, go over, tell him.
He's got Shaw. Shaw's come across.
They're all getting the same thing.
Michael Carrick's now come to the edge of it. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is now pointing to his head, pointing out onto the pitch to...
Right, they're getting the message across now. So, look, Shaw's running across. He's talking to Lindelof. He'll pass it on. We'll see if he passes it on to Smalling, who then passes it on. But they're trying to get the message across. The physio didn't go on there. Obviously, you don't want to go down to 10 men at any point in time, so the physio's not going on there. It just cannot. And you see he's trying to do it. To be fair, though, 31 minutes in, 2-1 up. You've not suffered anything yet. It's amazing. It's
somehow
stunning. It has it. And do you know what? Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
He did, he mentioned last night, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when he was talking to us here in the stadium. So it is 2-1 to Manchester United. So it is now 3-2 on aggregate to Paris Saint-Germain. And Romelu Lukaku, for the third game running, has scored 2 goals. So that's 6 in his last 3 appearances. Mind you, that was an absolute gift for him.
Yeah. I'm looking at the far side there. By he doesn't look fit, does he? He's stopped and he's standing in a very unusual position. All the problems are over there. What he would give to have a normal right back standing in that position right now. Solskjaer's, he hasn't got his problems to seek at the moment, but that's his biggest one.
United lose it. And now Verratti passes it to Draxler. Draxler's cross. Di Maria peels away, shoots, but gets it all wrong, miscues it. Actually hit it straight into Smalling and Mbappe, who are just outside the 6-yard box. And then Di Maria, that was a heavy one. The challenge on the far side.
I would give a yellow.
It is a yellow for Di Maria for that challenge.
I'd be quite angry if it didn't, because he's trying to clear the ball, and it's, as a defender, I mean, it's a really, really sneaky thing to do, to leave your studs in there and take the player out, because you can't protect yourself when you're clearing the ball. It's kind of an ugly one to leave in there.
Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 2. Well, we've not been short on talking points, have we?
Well, we were talking to the journalist before the game there, and do you know what? Sum this one up. It's quite brilliant. It's quite incredible, and it could be one of those magical nights. It's nowhere. We said it before. It's improbable. Oh. By the way, Di Maria's done that again.
Di Maria again on McTominay. Now this was a high foot. The Manchester United players, 4 of them. Smalling has gone across to the referee as well. McTominay is okay. He's just rolled around onto his knees.
It's one of those ones, if he didn't get a yellow before, he probably would have for that one, yeah?
But it wasn't enough for
a red,
second yellow.
There is no rule that stands.
Going to have a change, Pat. United are going to bring Dalot on.
Yeah, what I was saying there, what you would do now for a right fullback.
And it just so happened.
There was a guy there. The whole Bailly thing, it can't work. It cannot work.
They had to do something.
Yeah, it was a mess. It was shambles.
Yeah, and it might be that Bailly has picked up a knock, as you suggested. But here he is. He's coming off after... How would we describe Bailly's 35 minutes of action?
Lost. That was a lost 35 minutes. And I don't know how much it's his fault. I mean, the big thing is, a right back who's naturally a right back can play centre back. As someone who is a centre back plays against you as a winger on the right back position, you just think party time. You really do. And he's one of those ones he didn't want to be there at all. And yes, he's got a bit of an injury just now, but that's the best thing that could have happened to United right now.
So there's the change made. Young, free kick into the area. Rashford with a chance. Oh, he shot right across the face of goal. Buffon was committed. Rashford, corner of the 6-yard box. He got it so narrowly wide and beyond the far post.
I think the assistant was shouting for it, was flagging for offside there. But it is a half a chance to get in there. It is pretty tight anyway. And you just look at that defence, and you've got, we talked about this before the game with Chappers and Charlie Adam. You've got 2 world-class strikers up there. Just give them some chances. Just give them a little sniff every now and again. Well, we give them a little sniff now and again, and they've already scored 2 goals. You would not put it past them to produce more.
United back in possession. Here is Ashley Young on the right-hand side. He's now got Dalot over there, the Portuguese
Well,
teenager.
he's right back now, isn't he? Young's right back. Dalot's ahead of him. This should look a bit better.
Yeah, and Dalot has played in the recent matches when he's come on as substitute in a midfield role.
And he can play both. He can actually play a little bit further back and a little bit further forward.
The thing is, though, Pat, talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Midas touch for Manchester United. He has really got it horribly tactically wrong in this match for the first 35 minutes. And they're winning 2-1.
And they're winning 2-1, yes. He has got lucky, you have to accept that. But also the slightly lucky thing is he's got one injury stroke player who shouldn't be on the pitch just now. He's not really got much on that bench except a player in exactly the position he needs him. And well done, Ole, for using your luck well. Lukaku, who's on the hat-trick, speeds away down the left-hand side away from Kera, and then Lukaku rather bundles over Thiago Silva, and it's a throw-in, or it's a free kick. By the way, you've got Rojo on as well there, so you could put him as a centre-back, but to have Dalot there is really handy.
There is more news of the match in Portugal. John Bennett.
An away goal for Roma. It's Porto 1, Roma 1. A Roma legend with the goal. De Rossi from the penalty spot after Perotti was brought down. So Porto 1, Roma 1. It means that Roma are leading 3-2 on aggregate.
Do you know, I watched Roma play Lazio the other day. Lazio won 3-0. And the only way De Rossi was going to score was from a penalty, because he couldn't get into the box. He has lost any small amount of pace that he used to have.
Dani Alves curls a teasing ball into the area that actually bounces, sort of kicked off the surface, and up and over Mbappe and Smalling and through to David De Gea. I think the rain has eased. You can see some huge droplets coming down from the concrete roof above our heads of the Parc des Princes. As Thiago Silva stretches for the ball, it comes off his head back into his own right back area. Rashford dangerously is speeding around there from Thiago Silva, unsettling Kera now. But Kera is just passing the ball away from the back now. Still, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is directing operations from the edge of the coaching area. Rashford challenged by Kera, feels he should have won a free kick. Referee Scamina says no, it's only a goal kick to PSG.
I have to tell you, Ashley Young's still not happy. He's turning around time and again with his arms wide to the manager, saying, and it's hard to see what he's saying. He's got his arms wide open saying, what's going on, what's going on? Well, it actually looks better now. You're in that right back position, you know how to play that position, you can kill off that space. I don't know what he's worried about now.
Got one of those incidences where PSG had a goal kick that Thiago Silva knew he was in trouble, so stepped into the area and played it back. So this goal kick is taking an absolute eternity to take. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 2. PSG have lost only 3 of the 40 matches they've played this season.
I think that's a statistic that's a bit unfair. If you say that about Man United or Man City or Chelsea or Liverpool or it, that's fine. It's Liga, to be fair. They're so far ahead, they're miles ahead. Some of the games I've watched in Liga, when they've played at a canter and won by 4 and 5.
Yeah. Rashford just caught there, I think, by Verratti. It's a free kick. Rashford just being helped to his feet, and Rashford feels that he should have won the free kick, which has been given against him. Verratti plays it to the left-hand side to Bernat. 2-1 to Manchester United. Lukaku scored the 2 United goals. Bernat equalised for PSG. And the French side lead 3-2 on aggregate.
That is amazing. We watched that right-hand side. The problem's not there, is it? To anywhere near the same level.
No, because Dalot has dropped back in there for the time being. But Ashley Young is now playing, in that sort of...
Yeah, but he's dragged Dalot back.
Yes.
That's the reason. He knows he needs help.
He's organised Dalot in the way that it wasn't being organised when it was by
exactly. And it needed that. And again, it's that classic thing of a centre-back who's really uncomfortable going wide.
40 minutes played here in Paris, the atmospheric Parc des Princes, this famous stadium, World Cup stadium, Euro 2016 stadium, great memories of both. And it's now very much dressed up a la Paris Saint-Germain, red, white and blue everywhere. They've got a massive montage of all of the current stars on the outside of the stadium. No Neymar, although they said that he'd be back here tonight after being at the Carnival in Rio. Cavani's on the bench. Long ball over the top, which is deflected by Young across the box, and De Gea's able to come out and claim it.
He does look a wee bit better back there, Young. I mean, he reads that perfect. That's a brilliant ball over the top. And we know that Di Maria's got plenty of pace there. He's running in behind him, but he's got it perfectly, and he's nodded it back to the goalkeeper very calmly. And it just looks much, much better for United at the moment. Having said that, it only takes a second, it only takes a moment of brilliance from the likes of Kylian Mbappe. Having said that, you can say the same from Lukaku.
Pereira now through to Lukaku for Manchester United. Fred curls it out to the right-hand side. There's space here for young Dalot. Dalot taking on Bernat, beats him brilliantly into the box. Dalot pulls it across, deflected, and Buffon is able to drop onto the ball, which deflected right to his body as he dropped to his right.
And it's suddenly a much more even game. It suddenly isn't total domination of possession by PSG, and it's Manchester United playing like, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer loves to say, like Manchester United, up against him, face to face with the players in front of him, and he's just changed it very, very slightly, and so far it's beginning to work. And if you are PSG, you must be slightly concerned at the moment.
Rain starts again. It's falling gently down into the stadium here. Verratti is holding off McTominay, who's all over him, leaning into him as the little Italian runs away with the ball, and looks distinctly miffed that McTominay should have the temerity to do that. Free kick. Now Dani Alves with a cross, headed away by Smalling, above Mbappe, comes out to Verratti. McTominay backpedaling. Here's Di Maria now. Di Maria, former record signing of Manchester United, plays the ball back to Bernat, and now Kimpembe back to Thiago Silva in the centre circle. 2 minutes to go to half-time. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 2. The French champions 3-2 up on aggregate. I bet Charlie Adam in the studio alongside Mark Chapman can't wait to have his say about the developments here in the first half and how it's gone tactically, as Bernat makes a run beyond Dalot, but Thiago Silva delayed the pass. So Kimpembe will have to play it back to Bernat on the left-hand side. In it comes towards Di Maria. Di Maria now, McTominay position near the corner of the box. Verratti is there as well. Verratti into the penalty area, but his pass is straight to the feet of Fred, who's able to play it away to Lukaku. And Lukaku is helped out by Rashford, and Rashford plays it to Dalot. And Dalot's now got space on the right-hand side, but just slows the attack. Rashford wanted it, and he didn't play it.
I watched him there. I wondered if he got injured.
Oh, and Dalot's given it away to Mbappe in the centre circle, and Mbappe gets the ball down and then stands on the ball. Draxler behind him keeps possession for PSG. A strange little period that was.
Well, a terrible ball by Dalot. The one person you don't want to give it to in space is Mbappe there, but it was a strange ball because a cross into the box was on.
What a crazy game this has been.
It's painfully weird, and which makes it really entertaining and exciting. Happily, every time we say left-hand side and PSG in the same sentence, Manchester United fans don't have to panic anymore. But beforehand, for 35 minutes, you did.
However, here now they've got space on the right-hand side with Dani Alves, whose cross is into the knee of Shaw, comes out to Kehrer, then back to Dani Alves. United have got everyone in pink, apart from Lukaku behind the ball. Dani Alves back to Draxler, very deep lying position, over 30 yards out, square to Kimpembe. Kimpembe uses Di Maria, little ball to his right to Verratti. Verratti's pass is short, so Fred is able to take possession for Manchester United, and then Fred is bundled over by Di Maria. It's on a yellow card.
Do you know that, again, in one of the debates you have to have at half-time, is, that there was a mess on the right-hand side there, an absolute mess. You could see the big problems where they were. And the players should sort it out. Don't play to where the manager's playing. If it's that bad, you sort it out, and then come half-time, which is usually a defensive thing you do to sort it out. A player goes a little bit further back, a little bit deeper, drags others in beside him, and then work it out at half-time with the manager and discuss it. If it's it's a mess, you need to do something about it. But nobody seemed to be able to do anything about it, and I was really surprised by that for 35 minutes, and they got away with it.
That's Pat Nevin, Scotland international, with us here for the commentary in the Parc des Princes. A number of the people in the seats in front of us, which are leather-backed seats with the PSG logo on them, are getting up. The man in a tartan jacket has just disappeared inside. They've got some extraordinary hospitality boxes.
Very tasteful bloke, that guy who walked away there, I thought.
Well, I'm not sure if you saw it. Here's McTominay to Lukaku. Now Dalot goes for an early ball across to Rashford. Rashford holds off Kera, and Thiago Silva came across, got the touch on it to just play it back to Buffon, who gives him a fist bump. Yeah, and for Kera as well, for looking after Rashford there.
Yeah, you could argue that may have been a pass back. That's what I was shouting and bawling for there, but the referee didn't give that one there. But
half-time whistle, 2-1 Manchester United.
Well, yeah, sum that up in 30 seconds. Complete domination from PSG. Manchester United have made a couple of chances, got help from slack play by PSG, but it was a shambles and a mess on the right-hand side for a long time in this game, and this tie could have been over. However, United not only have lived to fight, they are seriously in this game, and suddenly the last 10 minutes is probably the best 10 minutes they've had in this tie.
All very much to play for here. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 2 at half-time, so PSG 3-2 up on aggregate.
What were they trying to achieve, United, tactically by playing Bailly as a right back? Was it to have him as a right back, but also to drop in as a three alongside Smalling and Lindelof?
Ray, I'm hesitating here because there's a really hard question, because I have no idea by the way he was playing what they were trying to do. Because at the start, I was trying to explain it, that we've seen it time and again when Stoke used to do it. Charlie will know all about that. You play a back four that are four centre-backs, and they're tight. They're really, really tight. They're hard to get through. But the guy who's the wide midfielder, he gets back there, and he covers that area. You don't let loads and loads of crosses, and you don't let him get to the byline. But the thing is, they weren't doing that. Ashley wasn't doing that. So it was this massive big area there. So eventually, I actually suspect it was Bailly. He wasn't one to go out as far to the right back position of what he was asked to go out. But you'd have to ask the manager. You really would, because it was a mess.
He didn't look comfortable there, and he basically was over covering every time on Smalling, and you're allowing Bernard to get up on that left side. But Ashley Young as a right back should actually, it should be easier for him to track the full back than allowing him to get into space, because he's more defensive. But he just kept allowing him to get in.
Charlie, you're absolutely right. But the other thing is, we've got the advantage here of seeing the whole pitch, and you can see the whole thing. So we're watching it off the play. And at no point was he even considering going back there.
No.
He was stuck inside in a very, very tight.
Do you think they were worried about Di Maria picking up that space in between, in that space where Bailly didn't really want to go into Di Maria, or the winger couldn't pick him up either? Because
Charlie, I've had all these arguments myself here.
Yeah.
Because we've played in that position, that right midfield position. You know what you need to do sometimes.
Yeah.
You need to sacrifice.
It's man on man, isn't it?
Yeah.
Young takes the full back, and Bailly sort of, looks after Di Maria, but
the confusion is, I can't tell you.
No.
Because none of them were doing it. And quite often you would have Di Maria or the left back, Bernard. Well, always Bernard, he was always free. But sometimes Di Maria would go there, sometimes Draxler would be out there, and it'd be two of them utterly free with 40 yards of space.
But whatever the thinking behind it, to put a centre-half out there when you have a right-back on...
I think it's one of them. He's probably went with Bailly because of his experience, and thinking he can play as a right back, and with the amount of younger players they have in the team, you're probably thinking, let's put Bailly there because he's got experience. Ashley Young in front of him, but listen, he was all over the place, and he done well to last the 30 minutes he did.
all sorts of stats flying around. Here's one that's just come up on my Twitter feed. United have made more clearances 10 than attacking passes in the final third, which is 8. They've scored twice from only 3 shots. How are they winning this?
Well, I think it's disciplined defensively, restricting Paris Saint-Germain to not too much. Yeah, they've created on the overlap on the left-hand side, the right-hand side of Man United, but on the counter-attack, if you don't try and penetrate well and you don't take your chances, you've always got that. You're always open to that counter-attack, like United have done the first 3 minutes with Lukaku's goal, and then the second goal, Rashford's striking, Lukaku falling in like top strikers should do. And listen, these things happen in games.
Squawker have tweeted out, so shots, 9 Paris Saint-Germain, 3 United. The passing accuracy of the two teams, Paris Saint-Germain 93%, United 74%. Chances created, Paris Saint-Germain 9, Manchester United 1. Possession 76%, 24%.
Well, it just shows if you have as much possession as you want, that's it. Football is just a strange game, isn't it?
I think the phrase lies, damn lies, and statistics at this point in time, but the statistics are right. They were getting absolutely battered out of sight for 35 minutes there, and there was no rhyme or reason why they should have been in. You talk about what they did, defending, etc. I have to be honest with you and be blunt. They got lucky. They got really lucky in that first half. They could have been out of it. However, you get lucky sometimes and you ride that luck. They now, as I say, that last 10 minutes, it looked all right. It looked absolutely fine.
And Pat and Charlie, for the moment, thank you. In amongst it all, Romelu Lukaku, who has got a fair amount of stick this season, has scored both Manchester United goals. The other match is finally balanced as well this evening. Porto against Roma. John Bennett.
Yeah, Porto 1, Roma 1. So 3-2 on aggregate to Roma, who have an away goal now as well. Tiquinho Suarez gave Porto the lead on 28 minutes. Deserved lead as well, scored from close range. Daniele De Rossi equalised for Roma in the 37th minute after Perotti was brought down. Roma very lucky because Porto were all over them for the first 30 minutes. Corona had 3 chances. Teles came close as well. Herrera as well. But a poor challenge has put Roma back in it. A blow for Roma just before half-time, though, Mark. De Rossi has gone off. He's injured. Pellegrini has come on. Roma already trying to waste time. Porto 1, Roma 1. 3-2 on aggregate to Roma.
After England won the She Believes Cup, we'll hear from Phil Neville during half-time. 7 minutes to 9 o'clock. Here's the latest BBC News with Liam.
On digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
A man in his 20s has been stabbed to death in London. It comes just hours after the Home Secretary Sajid Javid held talks with police chiefs on how to tackle violent crime. The Assistant Police and Crime Commissioner for the West Midlands, Lynette Kelly, says it's not just about policing.
We've had local authorities have had their funding cut, so all the youth work that used to go on has virtually disappeared. All the voluntary projects that used to be there to support young people and give them positive role models, they've gone as well. So it needs to be not just police funding, but all the other sectors so that we can have some proper preventative work going on within our communities.
Meanwhile, detectives say a man who was stabbed in Oxford last week has died of his injuries in hospital. Police Scotland say that a suspicious package sent to the University of Glasgow is believed to be linked to those sent to London transport hubs. 3 were found at Waterloo Station and Heathrow and London City airports yesterday. A father who organised an acid attack on his 3-year-old son in Worcester has been jailed for 16 years. 5 other men were also given prison sentences for their involvement last July. Negotiations between UK and EU officials on Theresa May's Brexit withdrawal agreement have failed to make progress. The European Commission says there's still no solution to the controversial Irish backstop. That's the mechanism designed to stop a hard Irish border. And a man from Kent who planned to kill 100 people on London's Oxford Street has been jailed for at least 15 years. Detectives recovered torn-up notes from bins outside 27-year-old Lewis Ludlow's home, which listed potential targets, including the Disney store.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live. On digital, BBC Sounds, smart speaker and online.
And just one thing to tell you about on the roads this evening in Surrey. This is on the M25 clockwise, queuing traffic due to emergency repairs. This is near Clackett Lane services to the junction for Godstone. Liam Smedley, 5 Live Travel.
The Six Nations, rugby's greatest championship.
Everyone is on their feet. What an atmosphere. Hannah Davis kicks it out and Wales have won. And Wales's Grand Slam dream lives on. And England's Grand Slam dream dies in the Welsh capital. And Warren Gatland, in his final Six Nations, has yet again pulled a rabbit
continues on 5 Live and 5 Live Sports Extra this weekend and across the BBC.
This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
So Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 2 in the Parc des Princes, second half on the way here on 5 Live Sport. Elsewhere, Andy Murray says he is pain-free after hip surgery, but that his chances of playing singles at Wimbledon this year are less than 50%. Meanwhile, Johanna Konta has been in action at the Indian Wells tennis. Russell Fuller is there.
And she has beaten Pauline Parmentier, the world number 54 from France, 6-2, 6-3. Comfortable enough in the end, but she did have to save 10 of the 11 break points she faced, coming from a breakdown to win that second set. But a solid start, especially after last year when Konta lost their opening match. That was an error-strewn performance. She's often struggled in these desert conditions. The sun and the wind were a little bit tricky at times today. But a good win, and she'll now play Shea Suwei of Taiwan, perhaps the most unorthodox player in the women's game. That's in the second round on Friday.
Newcastle have confirmed Peter Beardsley's left his role as the club's under-23s coach. Beardsley had been on leave since an investigation into bullying allegations were launched last year. He denies any wrongdoing. England defence coach John Mitchell says they won't take any risk with Mario Itoje or Jack Nowell for Saturday's Six Nations match with Italy at Twickenham. You'll hear it on 5 Live Sport. Nowell has a shoulder problem. Itoje is recovering from a knee injury. So England's women won the She Believes Cup in America last night. A 3-0 win over Japan was enough to see them clinch top spot ahead of the USA. I've been talking to Phil Neville about the importance of winning silverware so close to the World Cup in June.
I think you getting your hands on that trophy. I mean, we had to wait 90 minutes because we had to watch USA and Brazil play last night before we got our hands on the trophy. And I've got to say that from 2 or 3 minutes after the game, I was planning next camp. I was thinking about the World Cup, and the presentation for me was gone. I was a little bit flat, building up to it. And when we went out onto the pitch, the players who had just been hanging around watching the game, all of a sudden, the look in their eyes, the sparkle of going out and getting their hands on the trophy, the medal, actually filled me with real pride, and seeing them up on the stage. And I didn't take part much in the presentation because I wanted to take a step back, because ultimately this is just, for me, it's a small thing on the road to where we want to be. And what you do when you win something, you have that feeling is that I want that feeling again. Winning is a drug, and it's something that you cannot replicate or prepare for.
Given you're now just over a year into this job, do you feel as immersed in it as you possibly can be?
Well, I think from day one, I open the gates. I open the gates for anyone that's out there that's playing to the level that I want, that can play for England. And I left 5 players out a week last Monday, which was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do in management so far in the previous 12 months. And what I said to those players is that the door's not shut, that I will continue to bring people in that are in form. And I think what's happened is that there's competition. The players that have been was maybe comfortable before I came in are now not comfortable. So that has brought a real togetherness and competition into the squad. And the future for English women's football is absolutely amazing. I've got to say that we've got a set of under 20 players that in 2021 or around about that will be the best team in the world, because this year Mo Mali took the under-20s to the World Cup. They finished third. They probably should have got to the final and won it. Those players in another 12 months' time will get an opportunity to hopefully go to an Olympics, or maybe after that to play in a Euros in England. So I think as an England senior women's team, we've got an unbelievable next 3 or 4 years with this generation that's coming through.
That's a very un-English thing to say, that. As in to actually be as positive and as confident, say, next 2 or 3 years, this will be the best women's team in the world. We don't often do that in sport, from a British perspective.
But I've got to say, forget the gender, both the male and the female side. Now, I think there's a generation of footballers coming through on both sides that can dominate world football. I truly believe that. You look at the men's and the women's side. We've got probably 8 to 10 world class players in my senior women's team. We've got players that have dominated youth tournaments for the last 2 or 3, 4 years. So it's not just a manager now that's had a good tournament win shouting his mouth off. It's actual fact. We've got a youth system now on both codes, men's and women's side, that has been successful, that are used to winning things. And probably me and Gareth have got the best job, because we're then getting them at their peak years. You talk about inspiring. the messages that you wake up to today from people that may have not stayed up to watch the full game but are waking up this morning to Lucy and Steph holding up that trophy, that's how you inspire, because that girl that's going to school this morning probably comes home from school wanting to play football. Maybe 3 or 4 years ago we didn't have that.
Phil Neville talking to me a little earlier, and you can hear more of that interview on the Football Daily podcast in the morning, which you can get from the BBC Sounds app or your usual podcast provider. Do United, Charlie Adam, need to get more of a foothold in this game? I know they lead 2-1, but do they need to get more of a grip of it? Or do they keep going as they are doing?
Yeah, listen, if they keep going the way they are, PSG will score a goal, but they have to try and get more of the ball. But, you know, if you said before the game they'd be 2-1 up at half-time, they would have took that going into the last 45 minutes with any opportunity. You know, on the break, Man United are causing them problems, and if they get one more chance, you know, the tie's theirs. And it's listen, they just have to keep it close for the next 10-15 minutes and then start to try and shift momentum a little bit.
Pat Nevin?
Yeah, there is a possibility. I think last 10 minutes are the best 10 minutes played in this game, and as I say, arguably over the two games. It looks much more settled now. Dalot has to come in now and calm down. He made one bad mistake there just after he came on. But positionally, him and Ashley Young look good. Get Lukaku another chance or two. Get the ball up to Rashford as well. Another thing, every striker, see when you're on 2 goals, looking for that third, you'll do anything for it.
FC Porto 1, AS Roma 1 at half-time in the other Champions League game. Let's head back to the Parc des Princes now. You've heard from Pat Nevin. Here's our football correspondent, John Murray. You're titling yourselves as a duo as the idiots, are you, from now on? Is that what you're doing?
I think we'll probably distance ourselves from that.
Well, you kept saying it. I'm just wondering, is that how I cue you both from now on?
I would say not.
OK. Just checking. Important to know these things.
I'm OK with idiot, but he has to be the award-winning idiot.
Yeah.
Very good. Right, second half underway. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 2. Romelu Lukaku with 2 goals, and Juan Bernat equalised for Paris Saint-Germain. The Ultras are throwing balloons down, red, white and blue balloons in the end to our left. Great chorus from them for the start of the second half. PSG with a throw-in on the far side in their mainly black kit with the white stripe, red, white and blue down the front of their shirts. And Manchester United in their pink, their light pink kit. Shirts and socks, white shorts. PSG as they started the match, United as they finished the first half. I'll run through the teams in a moment. In fact, I'll do it now because Bernat can't keep the ball in play. It's a throw into Manchester United. So PSG with Buffon in goal, back four of Kera, Thiago Silva, Kimpembe and Bernat, Marquinhos and Verratti in midfield, with Dani Alves on the right, Draxler in the middle, Di Maria on the left, and Mbappe up front. Manchester United heading the ball forward with Fred. PSG have got it in their own half. Heavy rain now pouring down and sweeping into the stadium here. And I know a couple of long banners have been put up amongst the ultras which read, "There's only one army, the red and blue." Thiago Silva with the ball in the centre circle, plays it forward towards Marquinhos, turns back onto his right foot. There is space for Dani Alves if Marquinhos can find his fellow Brazilian, and he can. Dani Alves is crossed straight into the back of Shaw, and it's deflected back towards Kera nearer the halfway line. Meunier only among the substitutes, so hasn't started either of the matches. The Belgian international was concussed, remember, and so missed the first leg. Here is Mbappe on the right-hand side. Excellent pace from Shaw to go with him there. So he had to cut back the speedster and give it back towards the centre circle. Thiago Silva. Thiago Silva with the ball at his blue boots. To the right to Kera. Kera now slips it down the line to Dani Alves. Takes a touch. Here's the cross, a deep one towards the back post, but it's over the top of Bernat. Dalot got a touch on that. PSG take up possession again, though, with a little shaven-headed Verratti. Then it's back again towards Marquinhos, who are in quite a rhythm here. Thomas Tuchel is not entirely happy with this, so I think he might be wanting it moved more quickly. And then an offside flag up against Draxler, and Manchester United thought about taking a quick free kick. Their team is United, De Gea, and then the back line of Ashley Young, Smalling, Lindelof and Shaw, with Diego Dallo, the substitute, dropping back into that right-back position. Pereira, McTominay and Fred, the other midfielders, and then Lukaku and Rashford up front. 3 minutes played in the second half. We're live in Paris. BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Manchester as well. PSG 1, Manchester United 2. So the French side 3-2 up on aggregate. Here's Young to Rashford. Rashford first time touch to Lukaku, who had 2 PSG players around him but held it up, and United go back into their own half. Pat Nevin is with us here for the commentary, high in the Parc des Princes.
And it just looks much more comfortable for Manchester United just now. Look, they're going to be put under pressure. Di Maria is really good on the left-hand side. I mean, we know how strong he is there. Mbappe's had a limited effect in the game. But they're always capable of scoring, and every time they try and get the ball up to Lukaku, he's holding it up better now, as he is just now, and Rashford is constantly dangerous.
Lukaku doing exactly what Pat described in the left full-back position. Now McTominay and Dallo backed closer to the halfway line to Ashley Young, who's off now, driving forward, but Verratti in with a classic Verratti tackle and challenge, plays it from Mbappe, who's actually a strong second favourite to get to the ball here, and indeed Manchester United with Shaw get there first. Even though he was a strong second favourite, he nearly got there.
Do you know the odd thing is, I think Mbappe's gone over, looked at Shaw and thought, well, I'll do him for pace easily.
Ashley Young with a pass, but Rashford had straight offside.
Don't do a Shaw for pace easily. He's much quicker than he looks. And a couple of times there he thought, I'll hit it past him, I'll give him a couple of yards. No, you won't do that with Shaw. He is rapid. Not as quick as Mbappe, but I think Mbappe got a wee shock there at his pace.
Paris Saint-Germain, this team in recent seasons in European competitions, have lost precisely 2 of their last 50 home matches. Here's Dani Alves sweeping the ball across at the back post. Ashley Young watched the bounce, knew Bernat was behind him, and just a little header behind, had to give us a corner away.
And do you remember in the first half the ball was played in there and Bernat scores from that precise position because the right full-back wasn't in the right place, whereas Young knows where to play and he knows where to stand and he knows where to cover.
Corner, Draxler to take it from the left-hand side at the end where the Collectif Ultras Paris are all based. Draxler's corner in towards the near post is flicked across the box, cleared by Lindelof, comes out for Dani Alves, who's being put under some pressure there by Fred, and now as United partly clear it, Fred is fouled by Dani Alves, who is almost literally hopping mad with the decision as he runs away from it. Free kick United.
A bit of a shame there. Fred had made a really good run on the left-hand side, and it was worth taking a chance and playing that one early. They just didn't want to take the chance, and at some point, remember, United need another goal here.
They certainly do. Ball played forward for Rashford to chase. Kehrer gets there first. Ball runs away off him into the full-back position. Kehrer does ever so well to play it infield to Thiago Silva, who stands imperiously with the ball stationary at his feet. The Brazilian captain of Paris Saint-Germain. His pass forward towards Draxler now. Draxler does well, plays it infield to Verratti. They like this, the home supporters. The Parisians cheering their team on as they come forward with Di Maria, and Di Maria's angled ball. Oh, Lindelof turns and stretches and clears it away with Dani Alves arriving behind him.
It was desperate and it was last ditch, but it was good enough, and he's read it, and he hasn't panicked. The ball's behind him, you think it's a chance he takes, he throws his right leg out, and he just about gets enough on it, and these PSG fans knew there was a chance there, and they knew it long into the build-up, long before the build-up started.
Of those 50 home matches that PSG have lost only 2 of, they were against Real Madrid and Barcelona. But Manchester United are winning here. Remember, already this season, Mourinho's Manchester United won away against Juventus in the group stages. Here's Kimpembe playing it to Di Maria. Di Maria's ball into the near post. He whipped it in, cleared up in the air by Lindelof. Smalling looked as though he was fouled. Referee Scamina says no, and United have been able to clear it away. But only back to the black shirts of PSG. You can feel the atmosphere, the home supporters' expectation. Verratti receives it just outside the box. His pass through to Mbappe, who stretches for it and hooks it back, but from behind the goal line. Goal kick, Manchester United.
I was asked a sensible question earlier on in the day. Should Manchester United just kind of write this one off and play some of the kids? And I'm thinking, well, no, I don't think he should do that. He should have a bit of a go at it. He really won't want to bring on the kids unless he has to now, won't he? Really? because you want to get everything out of every single one of those players. Obviously, they're thinking about important games coming up, but he must believe that there's a chance here. And if you're really going to Solskjaer in his history, you know there's a chance.
Yeah, Arsenal away on Sunday. That's a 5 Live commentary match. Sunday afternoon. Here's Verratti with the ball inside his own half, bringing it away and passing it to Draxler, who's challenged. A little touch on that. McTominay did well. And now Fred passing it forward for Pereira to make a run and gets to the ball first. Ahead of Kehrer on the left-hand side, comes back in field towards Fred. Fred now rolling the ball out here to the right-hand side. Dallow's right-footed cross is over Lukaku's jump and bounces into the full-back position. Pereira in the PSG right-back area. Pereira's cross over Lukaku and bounces through and off the hoardings behind the goal. And it's a goal kick to PSG. Again, United leading 2-1, Pat.
Yeah, but again, the first half, for the first 30-odd minutes, it was just camped, isn't it? Completely camped inside the Manchester United half, and usually the last third. And United getting out now and again and scoring just about every time they went out, it has to be said. But it's not quite the same as that in the second half. Yes, they've got more of the possession, but it's not utter domination from PSG in this half. Well, not yet anyway.
So PSG still just ahead in the tie. And the other one tonight, still Porto 1, Roma 1. So Roma are 3-2 up on aggregate. Bernat on the left-hand side. Bernat to Di Maria. Di Maria turns onto his right foot, then back onto his left. Dalot has done well. Young and Dalot together there. Now back towards Verratti, who was heavily challenged by McTominay. Referee Scamina has spotted it and says, no, just carry on with the play. Interesting to see if he comes back to McTominay on that.
Yeah. He's been really strong. Right. He's been strong, hasn't he, McTominay? He's put a lot of challenges in, and he's basically made himself an utter nuisance to the opponents. You find them, difficult to deal with because he's got an unusual way of tackling.
Playing in the absence of the injured Matic. This is his 4th consecutive start in this little run. McTominay, the Scottish international. Di Maria now to Verratti, 30 yards from goal. A flick from Mbappe to Di Maria, who's in and dinks it in. It's 2-2, but the offside flag is up on the far side. The goal has been ruled out, and the cheers of the PSG supporters are stuck in their throats. It's still 2-1 Manchester United.
I have to say that must have been unbelievably close. It was brilliant play there by Di Maria and Mbappe. The little back flick by Mbappe was fantastic. Ashley Young had turned off, but it was only for a second. Only for a second he turned off there, but it was enough to let him go through. But both the assistant and the referee seemed comfortable with that decision. They've got away with another one, United.
Well, we don't have a TV screen.
Can't tell.
And well,
most
obviously
people seem to think it's offside, but there's no definitive answer.
It must be offside, Pat, because we've got VAR.
Yeah.
Well, so that will have been backed up. That will have been backed up by the VAR officials. So it is. We know we can definitively, even though we haven't seen pictures, we can definitively say it.
Do you know what? You're confident that VAR can pick out that quick.
I knew you were going to say that.
Steady on, old boy.
We've got a stoppage here because Lukaku has taken a bang. So we've got a stoppage. John Bennett in the studio can give us more news on the other tie tonight.
Deserved goal for Porto. Porto 2, Roma 1. Musa Marega with the goal, his 6th Champions League goal of the season. Close range header. There was some debate as to whether he was offside. VAR took a long time to decide it, but the goal was given. It means it's 3-3 on aggregate as things stand heading to extra time. Porto 2, Roma 1.
Thank you, John. So there you see, Pat. VAR got it right with that offside decision in Portugal. Lukaku, bit of a problem here. It looks as though it's his ankle that he's injured, and he's sitting on the turf. So that means, meanwhile, that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his coaching staff have actually called across Rashford, Dalot, Pereira and McTominay, and they're all receiving instructions by the side of the pitch.
And to be fair, it was obvious what the instructions were in the first half when they got them over there. Not quite so clear this time, and we'll keep an eye on Rashford. Maybe he's the one who maybe drop down into the midfield a little bit and break from there. As you watch him just now, he's going over to the left-hand side, but we shall see if he stays there.
I think Lukaku's going to be okay. He's sent back onto the field. Both coaches, Michael Carrick and also Kieran McKenna, have been given white shirts to wear over their black tops, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, quite fittingly, is still in the bib d'or, the man with the Midas touch. Here's Verratti, plays it square towards Draxler. Mbappe back towards Kehrer. Kehrer then out to the right-hand side to Dani Alves, and back it comes to Kehrer again. You know, the way tonight we said the opening goal would be all important, and then I think we said the third goal of the match would be all important. Then I think the fourth goal of the match is going to be all important.
I think we didn't dare believe that there would be 4 goals in this.
Yeah, that's good play on the right-hand side. Now Dani Alves running onto the path from Draxler. Alves stands up to the challenge, plays it back, but Marquinhos' ball in. It's right onto the head of Young, who heads it away. The ball rattling around on the edge of the box. Smalling goes, safety first, quite right-footed, whacks it away downfield. Buffon misses it.
Do you know what? You've got to play on Buffon at the moment. And phrase you thought you would never say. But he's made a couple of mistakes. With the ball at his feet, he's not looked good. He's certainly dropped one for Lukaku's goal as well. But just looking the way United are setting up just now, kind of does look much more defensive at the moment, as if they're going to play much more in the break. Dalot's almost in the right back position, and Young's further in, so you've got 5 and sometimes 6 along that back line just now, which means that Rashford's having to drop back into left midfield.
Really interesting period of this game. PSG 1, Manchester United 2. Draxler and Dani Alves combining again on the right-hand side. And then Di Maria's going to try a shot. Took a little deflection, but De Gea was able to quickly adjust to his left and grab the bouncing ball into his midriff.
Yeah. When they've not got the ball, it's almost a 5-4-1 that they're playing just now, Manchester United, and then a 4-5-1 when they've got it. Lukaku up top himself, but trying to get Rashford close to him when they're on attack. But when they're not on attack, he gets back down in the left midfield area.
Half an hour to play. We're live in Paris on this damp night. It's not springtime in Paris just yet. Here's Mbappe playing the ball in towards the edge of the area. Dani Alves, but Smalling stood up brilliantly well against him. Stabbed into the area. Young sticks out his leg and the ball strikes it. Otherwise, it would have landed at the feet of Di Maria and it deflected through to De Gea.
Well, not unlike a few moments ago, Lindelof did the same sort of thing. It is going to have to be desperate at various points in time now.
McTominay has just handed off Marquinhos there, and Marquinhos has got up and started pointing his finger at McTominay. McTominay was moving away with the ball, flung his arm out. Yeah, it caught Marquinhos, and Marquinhos is now pointing at him.
It's one of those ones you're handing him off. You're not punching him, you're not elbowing him. You know, it's kind of a warning, not much more than that. I have to say there's, again, excuse me falling into Scottishisms again, but it's a gallus walk that he walked away there, which is a confident, a bullish kind of walk that he walks away with, and has to say, I belong here. Yeah. I don't mind, bullying an opponent of that fame.
That's the former Scottish internationalist, Pat Nevin, as you say, north of the border. 2-1 to Manchester United. 3-2 on aggregate to Paris Saint-Germain. Referee Scamina just calmed that down there. It's all of his experience. He's not yet refereed a Champions League final. I wouldn't be surprised if he got this season's. Did the Europa League a couple of years ago when Mourinho's United won in Stockholm against Ajax. Here is Dani Alves on the right-hand side. Back to Kehrer. Everyone inside the Manchester United half. Thiago Silva now. Little shuffle forward from him, then gives it to Marquinhos, and Marquinhos curls it out towards the right flank. Draxler flicks it, and then now up against Shaw, takes him onto the byline. Shaw did well, it's pulled across. I thought the ball was out. It seemed to be out and behind, but the flag didn't go up. It was pulled across, and the shot, though, was blazed wide and high.
Do you know, sometimes in the past you used to get really upset and worried about that. Oh, the ball's gone out and they've played on. It's okay if it landed in the back of the net. They've just checked it anyway, so no need to panic about it. You just defend it until the end of the play there. But it is intriguing the way the tactics have gone here. I keep on mentioning the fact Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has changed it 2 or 3 times, and he has gone for this 5-4-1 in defence and 4-5-1 when United are attacking. Now it does seem a little bit more negative than even it was in the first half, but it's like you're away from home, you're doing a lot of chasing. they need to conserve a bit of energy, because they might have to chase the last 10 minutes and put everything on. He makes a lot of changes and adaptations during games, and the amount of times it's went right for him so far in his career here at United is incredible.
Yeah, it's a great point, that, Pat, if it stays like this. Here's a little foul by McTominay, so PSG take it quickly. Square from Marquinhos towards Kera. PSG are in control, but Marquinhos challenged again. Good one by McTominay. Tall, fair hair, swept back. Now Thiago Silva to the right-hand side to Dani Alves. Here's Di Maria. He's found a little bit of space. Back to the right-hand side. Here's the cross, which is absolutely awful from Draxler. He got right underneath it and ballooned it over into the other full-back position, and it bounces out of play for a goal.
Part of the reason why he's done that is because he did a quick look before, he played that ball in the middle there, and he spotted there were 5 United players right across that 6-yard line. I'm talking about the absolute naivety of the first 35 minutes. This is the polar opposite of that. Absolute polar opposite of that. It's a really well-structured, well-organised defence. Problem is, you need some attack as well at the moment.
PSG 1, Manchester United 2.
By the way, I wouldn't be surprised if Lukaku doesn't last a lot longer just now, because
struggling.
He's at walking pace at the moment, and you can't have anyone at walking pace here.
Mbappe is out on the right-hand side. Mbappe plays a 1-2 with Di Maria. Now it's into the edge of the box to Verratti. Fred did well there. Just won the ball, really. Clean and simple. And United played away, but it bounces off Dalot and runs out for a throw. Just next to where Thomas Tuchel is standing.
No, he's given a foul, and he's right to give a foul. He sneaked in there before the ball, won the ball, but he's taken the hit as well. Didn't go down, but the referee spotted it. Once again, like yourself, quite impressed, very impressed actually by the referee. I don't think he spelled foot wrong tonight.
Famous last words, Pat.
Yet.
That
let me get
I've heard occurs to the commentator. Here's Young. Now to Pereira. Back it goes to Fred on the halfway line. Fred turns and gives the ball to Pereira. United have players pouring forward. McTominay, Lukaku wanted it on the edge of the box, but the pass was misplaced by Pereira. And now PSG bringing it forward again. Kera. Fred slides it in and completely misses it as Kera passed it to his right. Mbappe now is onside on the right-hand side. Goes for the early ball across. Smalling slides in. The ball bounces up off him, but Young was right behind him and was able to tidy up. And United passing it away from the back again. Just all of a sudden, the game's suddenly become a little more open. Rashford flick to Lukaku in the centre circle. Lukaku turns, plays it to Shaw. Shaw now. Kera has a look over his shoulder. It's Shaw against Kera. Shaw runs across the corner of the box and then plays it back to Fred. 30 yards out. Fred passes it into the space down the right. And now Dalot is there. Dalot with a touch. His cross bounces off Bernat up into the air. Bernat clears it straight up into the air, and it bounces out of play just over the white line for a throw 10 yards away from the corner flag. But 25 minutes to play.
Yeah, the joy of that though, John, is they had 3 players in the box. McTominay makes a rush into the box. You've got Rashford obviously and Lukaku as well. He seems to have got another little lease of life there, just with the fact that the game has opened out. I think he'll enjoy that a little bit more. She'll see if he does last. He needs to try and last that game. You need your big players out there.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer watching on in his golden bib. The man with the golden bib. Long ball from Kimpembe. De Gea's out of his penalty area to volley it forward. And then Luke Shaw wins a header. Wants a free kick.
Harsh, isn't it?
PSG as Draxler, as Dani Alves is sent sprawling by that challenge. It is a free kick.
Yeah, but not for the first time, Dani Alves. It doesn't take a lot. It's a wee bit windy out there.
Yeah, Pat. We've got a few of them. Just if Neymar was here tonight, this is your nightmare scenario. Di Maria, Dani Alves, and if Neymar had been involved
on a windy night, just fall over all the time.
Pat Nevin, the arch diver hater. Here's Mbappe, good challenge again from Fred. He's been quietly efficient, has Fred. Lukaku now does well, takes 3 PSG players out of the play, and then the pass cross field. Very nearly.
But he doesn't need to, John. He doesn't need to. He's got away from 3 players there. He needs to run on until he's challenged and drag another player out. Really hold on to the ball, make good use of that space and drag players towards you. And that's just tiredness. That's all that is tiredness making that pass. It didn't need to be made.
Game has changed in the second half. They've all had time to think about what happened after that incredibly eventful first 45 minutes. Here's Draxler. Draxler is the challenge comes in from McTominay. Draxler keeps it though, but his progress is checked. Verratti though is going to play it to Dani Alves on the right hand side. Dani Alves just outside of the corner of the box. Now here's Verratti. Verratti back to Dani Alves again. Dani Alves now to Draxler. Draxler with the ball on the right hand side. His cross is blocked out of play. And
there's an injury on the far side there, is it? I'm trying to see who it is. Far side, right hand side. And I don't know if that was it. That was
Draxler is sat down.
Yeah, Draxler, isn't it?
Draxler has gone to ground inside the United.
And they were going
area.
to make a substitution. I'm not convinced that was the one they were going to make.
Paredes is going to come on, the recent signing, who came on as a substitute in the first leg at Old Trafford.
It's one of those substitutions, by the way. If they were going to take Draxler off, they're gutted they left at 10 seconds because he's now done a bit of a hamstring injury there.
Draxler receiving treatment on the pitch. It looks as though it is going to be Paredes who wears the number 8 for Paris Saint-Germain, this 24-year-old Argentine international who was signed in January for round about 40 million euros. Thomas Tuchel there turns and applaud. He wants to make another change because of the injury to Draxler. And it is actually Thomas Meunier who's going to come on as well, so it's going to be a double change with Draxler going off and also Kehrer is off. Tuchel was not happy with the fact that Meunier was not ready to come on.
Yeah, it's one of those ones you should be ready all the time. I mean, having said that, you probably keep the tracksuit on to keep a wee bit warm if you're sitting there down most of the time. So they've made that change.
So on comes Paredes and Draxler. Obviously with the injury that he's had, he's still off the pitch on the far side, Draxler, but the change is made. So Paredes is on into the midfield, the number 8.
It doesn't massively weaken them, does it, John? No. And that's the thing they've got. They can make these changes. They can make fabulous changes here. And what can Ole do? Very, very little.
Yeah, in terms of experience, really, there's only Rojo of the outfield players on the bench. The rest of them are teenagers.
Yeah, and now and again, it could be a magical moment with 5-10 minutes to go. You could bring on and might make the difference, but it's asking a huge amount for a youngster.
20 minutes to play. 5 Live from the BBC, live from Paris, and BBC Manchester as well. Dani Alves. Dani Alves had the option of Meunier on the right-hand side. Instead, infield to Mbappe. Cavani still on the bench. One change can be made, one further change can be made by Thomas Tuchel. And PSG going all the way back into their own half.
I think some Man United fans might be thinking, well, wait a minute, we'll start back here. It's 5 at the back, 4 in the midfield. Rashford's not getting up that often.
Ball flicked forward by Dani Alves, takes a little deflection. Mbappe in the box. Dani Alves back to Mbappe. A low ball across the 6-yard box. Crucial sliding interception from Ashley Young, otherwise it would have landed at the feet of Di Maria.
He's been brilliant. He's made 2 or 3 absolutely phenomenal interceptions in that sort of position since he's gone back to right back. He looks so much better there, as do Manchester United when he's in that position.
Awful crossfield ball by Meunier, virtually his first touch, and he is from the right wing hit it out of play on the left wing for a throw-in to United.
And that's trying to play the perfect ball, because early in the game you could just slide it into that area because there was so much space, so much time, no pressure at all. Well, it's different now because they're better organised at the back, United.
Draxler, clearly suffering from a hamstring injury, is just limping his way now over to this side of the field. He's just passing the Manchester United dugout. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the golden bib suddenly appears from underneath the roof of the dugout and steps forward 7, 8, 9, 10 steps to the edge of the coaching area. Tense moments now. PSG 1, Manchester United 2. Ball slipped through to Mbappe, right side of the penalty area, turns, and then the offside flag comes up.
That was such a delay. That's as long a delay as you'll get.
That's what they're told to do.
They've told what to do. You're absolutely right. To be honest, they did look plenty offside, didn't they? They looked well offside and made the run. But you're always wary of it with Mbappe because he's just so incredibly quick. I'm just looking at United again. They're changing again, They're doing it again. The adaptability of that team under that manager and the willingness of the players to do it. So they've now got Rashford up front. I thought they would give him and Lukaku 10 minutes at the end up front in a 4-4-2. Well, he's given them more than that. He's given them about 18 minutes.
Go Kimpembe has lost possession. Well, he's run the ball out of play for a throw into Manchester United. Looked like a handball by Ashley Young. It's deflected out of play, and that is simply given as a throw into Manchester United.
He's
got away with that one. Yeah. Throw in that's going to be taken by Dalot back into his own half to Chris Smalling. Just over 15 minutes to play. PSG 1, Manchester United 2. PSG still have the edge here. Still 3-2 up on aggregate. But if United could find a goal, they would be ahead on the away goals rule.
We haven't actually said yet there will be no extra time.
No, that's correct. Ball from Young forward towards Lukaku. Ball bounces into the penalty area, double deflection. Thiago Silva and then Kimpembe gets right underneath it, left foot clear to the halfway line. Young heads it to Fred. Fred just outside the D. Uses Luke Shaw. Fred's continued his run, takes the ball out into the full-back position. Rashford is over there on the left-hand side. Little ball from Rashford. Fred is dispossessed by Dani Alves. And Dani Alves just well works it to Mbappe, who turns it round the corner looking for the run of Meunier, who's a little sluggish, actually. And
no, you say that, you say that, but it's Luke Shaw there. Yeah. And he is, there are a few players around it. They're really so deceptive. He is so quick.
United on the way to what would be 9 away wins out of 9 under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Oh, that's a challenge there on Pereira by Paredes, who's just come onto the field. Instant yellow card from referee Scamina for that challenge near the halfway line. Pereira reacted quite animatedly to it, and he's up and he's hobbling away, but it's got a bit of a
we have to be fair.
Look to the hobble as well, actually.
To be fair, we have to be fair to them. He's made much more out of that. It was a free kick. It probably was a yellow card, but I think the triple Salco in the toe limp was possibly unnecessary.
Yes, I think so. Yellow card for Paredes. 2-1 to Manchester United on the night. 15 minutes almost exactly to play.
The referee's having a dig at Tuchel just now, but I don't think it's aimed at him. It's aimed at the fact that there's more than one of his coaches out with him. There was a part early on in the first half. There were 4 coaches from each team in the technical area shouting onto the pitch.
Free kick for United near the halfway line. 10 yards in from the right touchline. Ashley Young's going to take it. Very high line being held by PSG. Played it forward low to Rashford, who flicks it out here to Dalot. Infield now to McTominay. McTominay back to Dalot again on the right flank. Dalot's cross straight into the chest of Bernat. Out of play, throw in taken straight away by Dalot. Oh, Young struggling. Di Maria's nipped the ball away from Ashley Young, and he's crossed the halfway line. Di Maria downfield gives it to Mbappe. Oh, whose touch is heavy. Awful touch by Mbappe, who has run it straight behind for a goal kick.
And there's a real moment here. Ashley Young turning around, shouting and bawling at Dalot, saying, "Why did you give me the ball there?" I tell you why. You were wide open. There was nothing wrong with the ball. You made a mistake. In simple terms, Young made the mistake. He should have been able to cope with that ball there.
5 live.
He's giving it away again.
Given away by Ashley Young, giving it to Bernat. Bernat passes the ball down the line. Young's going to allow it to run, but it won't go out of play, so he has to pass it. Past Bernat. Here's McTominay infield towards Pereira. Pereira's ball up towards Rashford, who spins in field. Verratti, though, just is able to put the challenge in. Rashford then goes to ground. Referee says play on. Di Maria takes it away. Meunier is available. Meunier's ball across, but down goes Smalling to clear it out. And it rolls over the white line on the far side for a throw into PSG.
Yeah, Rashford caught the ball there. It's a real shame there, because he did a little step over and he got away, but he just slipped at the end of the step over.
So Mike Phelan, who also has a golden bib, I'm not sure if they're going to have to make another change, United.
Well, funnily enough, Lukaku's actually got another lease of life. He was walking for 10 minutes. I think he was saving himself for these last 10.
Pereira just slipped there, but was able to, at the last moment, just stab it back to Fred. Rashford, middle of the PSG half. Now McTominay flicks a pass here with his right foot to Dalot on the right-hand side. Dalot's ball infield is straight to the feet of Verratti. And we're going to see young Chong, Tahith Chong, is going to come on for Manchester United for the closing stages of this desperately tense Champions League round of 16 tie.
You'll not miss Chong with his hair.
No, we won't.
It'll be an easy one to pick out.
It will be only his 3rd appearance for the Manchester United first team, all of them as a substitute. the 19-year-old, and he's there with his absolutely enormous mane of hair.
It's an easy pick. It's a commentator's dream, isn't it?
Yes, it's almost Carlos Valderrama style, isn't it? But Chong's his black hair makes David Luiz look like he's got a short back and sides. PSG 1, Manchester United 2. Chong waits to come onto the field. Ashley Young playing it infield. United must score, so we are entering now the sort of closing stages here. Just over 10 minutes to play. Dalot infield, Lukaku just looking so he's struggling a bit. 2-goal Lukaku again for the third consecutive match. Rain begins to fall again here in the southwest of the French capital as Moratti gives it to Dani Alves. And now Di Maria back to the centre circle to Paredes. Verratti, Di Maria again on the right-hand side. He has Meunier available. Meunier's run, but Di Maria keeps the ball at his left foot. Then quickly across towards Dani Alves, just outside the D. Dani Alves' ball into the box. Meunier tries to lift it back across, but as he does so, the challenge comes in on him. Well done, Luke Shaw again. Corner, though.
He's had a great second half, Luke Shaw. I mean, he's stopped everything on that left-hand side there. He's read it incredibly well, used his pace brilliantly. And considering the tough times he's been through, he's had a magnificent night so far. Interested me about trying to guess who Chong's going to come on for. You kind of think it'll be a Lukaku, but you never know with Ole. He could do something different.
On the screen of the corner behind where this corner is going to be taken, it flashed up. Allez Paris. And the volume has increased. Corner. Di Maria. Dani Alves made the run. Di Maria played it right back up on the line. And Dani Alves had to recover, sprint to keep possession, and then is shoved over by Pereira. And it's a free kick to PSG. And the change now, we see that Chong is going to come on for Pereira.
Right. Do you know what? I didn't want to say Lukaku, definitely, because all he doesn't always do the expected thing. You know, you've got 10 minutes now, and it's dead on 10 minutes, as I said, the word dead there, to have a go. And he's going to have a go at this PSG team. And if you lose a goal, you lose a goal. You shrug your shoulders, and so what? He's given himself a chance, and we'll see if Chong can get forward a few times too.
So Tahith Chong, this Dutch under-21 international, 19 years old, who is very, very quick. Philip Neville was telling me about him recently. And he makes his Champions League debut, his third appearance for the Manchester United first team, with 10 minutes to play in this round of 16 tie here in the Parc des Princes. Ball's given away by Shaw. This could be trouble. Bernat up towards the edge of the United box. Mbappe's there. Step over from him past Young. Smalling comes in with a challenge. It bounces. Referee Scamina says off Mbappe and behind for a United goal kick.
Well, I don't know if he's right, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, referee. Well done again, you spotted it again. But again, it's a positive change. You know that Chong's got that pace you're talking about. He's playing sort of on the left wing. You're trying to move there. And I adore that adaptability. I really like it. And if you're changing it for change's sake, then no. But it's not. It always seems to have a reason, and more often than not, an effect from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 2. We are into the last 10 minutes. Dani Alves, much more centrally now to Di Maria. It's looking for Meunier. Meunier into the box, drives it across to here, just parries it away. The angle was very tight for Meunier there. A comfortable save, hit at pace. Here's Chong then into the action for the first time, but overruns it and then goes barrelling into Paredes and concedes the free kick, which PSG have taken quickly. United could be stretched here. It's played by Di Maria back out to Meunier, and he will play it all the way back to Paredes.
Well, Chong's really desperate to get and use his pace, isn't he? You can see every time he gets the ball, he wants to get running at full speed. That time, just a bad touch in front of him, but his willingness to do the right thing, which is use that pace right now, is clear to see.
5 Live Sport on air till 10:30 tonight. Phil Williams has team talk tonight, Wednesday night. Conor McNamara and Danny Webber, the former Manchester United man, will be with Phil from 11:30 this evening. Not sure yet how they're going to be talking about this game. PSG still edging it. PSG will be going through with this scoreline, even though Manchester United are winning here in Paris. Paredes inside his own half. Paredes then goes back to Thiago Silva. It's cut out by Rashford. The ball bounces right across the pitch beyond Lukaku. And Kimpembe catches up with it first, and Kimpembe runs back infield away from Lukaku and gives it to his captain, Thiago Silva. Warm applause for that from the Parisians. Some of them in front of us with their pullovers draped over their shoulders. Here now the ball is played forward by Dani Alves. Mbappe now. Mbappe, De Gea comes out. Mbappe stumbles. The ball runs for Bernat, who hits the outside of the post with his shot.
Absolutely incredible. The ball was played through towards Mbappe. It was never reaching him. It was too far in front of him. But because I think it may have been Smalling got a touch, it slowed the ball down. Mbappe maybe got a surprise with that. But at the vital moment, he slipped. It was incredible. He did everything right. He knew what he was going to do. His feet just gave way.
So close. That would have finished it.
Got lucky
6 minutes
again.
to play.
Got lucky again. I'm not saying it's written. I'm not saying it's written in the stars, but if only United could get one chance. Do you know what? They seriously deserve it with their second half display.
PSG 1, Manchester United 2. What an eventful night. We'll be talking about it. Get in touch at 5 Live Sport and let us know what you thought about this evening. Ball played crossfield towards Di Maria, who brings the ball under control, but it bounces away from her at the crucial moment and behind for a goal kick to Manchester United. Tomorrow night, Chelsea and Arsenal in the Europa League. We'll keep you posted on them. First legs in the last 16, so that competition is building. And we'll also have our Robert Lewandowski special that Guillaume Balaguer has done, another one of his specials. So that is on 5 Live tomorrow night. And then Saturday we've got Scotland, Wales and England, Italy and the Six Nations on 5 Live. Southampton, Tottenham sandwiched in between. So that is over the course of the coming few days. And United are going to make another change. Maybe this is an enforced change, and it's young Mason Greenwood who's going to come on for his debut. Chong on the left for United. Luke Shaw. Shaw's curled it in. It's gone a long way, and it landed actually beyond Bernat at the feet of Dalot, who wasn't expecting it, and it bounced off him and through for a throw-in.
Yeah, Dalot made a mess of that. Absolute mess of that.
Surely that's a PSG throw.
It's got to be a PSG throw.
Dalot is taking it, I think, possibly to cover his own.
He's killing a little bit of time here, and he's trying to pretend that he deliberately left that there. You don't deliberately leave it when there's a player 2 yards behind you, because you might just pick it up. And he got very lucky there, Dalot.
This is going to be the final United change, but not yet. 2-1. Manchester United lead, but PSG lead 3-2 on aggregate. PSG take the throw then, and it's hit away downfield for Smalling. You feel like with PSG they almost don't know whether to stick or twist, because they're in this position. This is enough for them, and of course they have the great pace of Mbappe.
Well, that's all you need to do. Just draw teams on, and lump over the top. Nobody's quicker than him. Nobody will stick with him. Shaw's the closest, but he's actually trying to play out in the left wing just now, trying to add a little bit to the attack. So that's the game plan from PSG just now for the last 4 minutes plus injury time.
4 minutes plus added time to play, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to bring on the 17-year-old, another forward player, as Bernat is bundled over. Dalot is just heavy with his challenge from behind him. It's a free kick, and PSG will be in no hurry here. I think we might see, will we see the change now? Yes, we will. And it's going to be Ashley Young to make way. So Young, who's had an eventful night, is off. Dalot will drop back to right back. And we have a debut, a Manchester United debut for 17-year-old Mason Greenwood. This Yorkshireman plays for the England under-17 team, and he's going to be back in school on Friday at Ashton-on-Mersey School.
You know,
he's going to be back in class.
Even if he doesn't do anything of that, it's still unbelievable. But if he does something here, it creates a chance to score a goal. Wow.
Do you think he'll appear in assembly?
I think he might.
On Friday morning.
I think the headmaster might just ask him up onto the dais.
So, Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 2. The number 54 is on the field. How must he be feeling here? United need a goal. PSG are taking a bit of the sting out of this. Dalot plays it up and forward towards Greenwood, who doesn't get his first touch because Kimpembe is across to head it out of play. And United, the ball is recovered. Actually, McTominay was off the field getting the original ball, while another one was returned to Dalot, who took the throw. Here's Fred in the centre circle. United just want one chance, don't they, Pat? One chance. And
they've come close to getting a chance, but they've not had a chance yet.
Shaw does well, holds it up against Mbappe, plays it up towards Rashford, who tried to give it back to Shaw, but wasn't able to do so. And it's passed away to Mbappe, and Mbappe is up against Fred over on the far side. Mbappe, lovely change of feet to pass it infield beyond Fred to Meunier. Meunier is just running the ball into the full-back position, and he's happy to do that and keep possession there. Although left-footed, he plays it across onto the chest of Dani Alves, and now Verratti. And United, pressing forward as they are, could get caught here, but that's the risk they have to take here. United need to score, otherwise they'll be going out. Verratti into the penalty area on the left-hand side. Chong is back in there with the tackle, and the ball runs free for De Gea to pick up. And we've got 90 seconds of the 90 minutes to play, Pat Nevin.
John, even a corner or a free kick, you can get everyone up. Any little opportunity.
Here's a launch through the middle from De Gea, but Thiago Silva, brilliant, backed away from that. Even though he had the dangerous pace of Rashford, he just controlled the ball as he dropped at his feet. And here he is again, Thiago Silva, playing it to Meunier on the right-hand side.
We're in Fergie stroke Solskjaer time.
Well, Sir Alex is here, came with the team to Paris. Here's Shaw bursting away with it, plays it infield to Chong, now Rashford, and now it's rolled across for Dalot. Dalot might shoot here, he does, but he sends it flying up and away via a deflection off Verratti. It's a corner for Manchester United, their first of the match.
He's not missed a thing, has he, the referee? I didn't see that as a corner. I thought he blazed that over, but he spotted it right away. Everybody up. You're looking at now, 30 seconds to go. It's temptation to get De Gea up as well. He's not come up, though, with just about everyone else in a pink shirts in that box.
We're in the 90th minute. United must score. They're heading out of the Champions League as it is after this amazing game here tonight. Chong is going to take the corner, left-footed, from the right-hand side.
I don't know why the referee's holding this up.
We've got a stoppage because the referee is consulting
the TV
video assistant.
Potential penalty review.
Potential penalty review. The ball hit an arm on the way over the bar. So after the initial deflection, was that the initial deflection? And then it's second deflection. That was the deflection. So it's deflect. A player has handballed it. The feeling is that it struck an arm of a PSG defender, the shot from Dalot, that deflected it over the top.
And the referee
with VAR working as it is in the Champions League, the decision comes to the on-field referee, and Damir Scamina is off the field, and he's blowing his whistle because I think Mike Phelan has said something in the dugout. The televisions are here next to the Manchester United bench. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is telling Mike Phelan and his coaches to take their seats, and it struck, it would appear, the arm of Kimpembe.
Do you know, the odd thing is, with both sets of players on the bench were shouting at the referee, and he's told them to get lost.
Yes,
he wants to watch it.
Yes, he's watching it on his own. Damir Scamina. This is a moment of high Champions League drama, high VAR drama, it must be said. He's still watching the pictures. He will be in communication. Now, what has he decided? Damir Scamina runs onto the field. Manchester United must score. Has he given? Now he's shown the. He's given a penalty. He's given a penalty to Manchester United, having seen the pictures after the intervention from VAR. It's a penalty for Manchester United in the second minute of added time. If they score this, they will go through. And it's Rashford who's going to take it.
I don't think a Manchester United supporter for the rest of history will ever argue against VAR if they manage to put this penalty. I cannot believe this is happening.
Luke Shaw has run across into the penalty area. 3 PSG players are remonstrating with Damir Scamina. Kimpembe, who is the player, the unfortunate player, who has given away the penalty because of his handball from the Dalot shot. Also, Marquinhos is there, Thiago Silva as well. They're not leaving the penalty area, but they have to accept it. The referee is saying to them, look, VAR has ruled on this. I've seen it again. I've seen it again, and I have given the decision.
But they're not doing that for that reason. They're putting Rashford off. This is gamesmanship. This is pure gamesmanship. And how strong is his personality? How
strong
big is his confidence?
Remember Moscow, the England penalty shootout.
Again, Bernat.
Now Bernat has run into the penalty area and Fred has gone in there as well. Referee Scamina is talking to Buffon on the line, and there's just a little bit of milling around in the D.
By the way, you agree with me, the referee's got nothing wrong here.
Well, he must have got it right. He's seen it for himself. Right, Rashford is going to take this. Remember, he had that high-pressure penalty in Moscow in the World Cup shootout. He scored that one for England against Colombia. This one is effectively to put Manchester United through against all expectations and knock out Paris Saint-Germain. And it is Marcus Rashford, 21 years old, against 41 years old Gianluigi Buffon. Rashford steps out to his left. Here he comes up to the ball, and he drives it and scores for Manchester United. They lead 3-1 here in Paris. This is remarkable. What a turnaround. What an achievement this will be for Manchester United and for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who stands there. He's the man in the golden bib, and he's got the Midas touch. No doubt about that for United. This is something else. United's players run away and celebrate, all in pink. They're in the pink, and they're going through to the quarter-finals. 3-1 on the night, 3-3 on aggregate. They're in front on away goals, and it all depends now on how much time will be added on.
Yeah, and we've not even seen it yet. Cavani's going to come on for the last few minutes here. They've got to go 4 or 5 minutes here. That's what they're going to go for. I'm absolutely certain for it. They're making the change now. Cavani will come on. They'll put the ball in the box consistently. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to have to change the system. I was there that night when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scored that goal in Barcelona. This feels just as exciting.
Right, Cavani is on, 6 games out through injury. 3 minutes were indicated. We've already had almost 5. PSG have to score now. Ball into the area, Bernat heads it across. Manchester United have to clear this. Mbappe's overhead kick. De Gea comes, gets a punch on it, hasn't cleared the penalty area. Di Maria on the left-hand side, plays it across to the near post, and De Gea is there. With 3 defenders, he stuck out a leg, the Manchester United goalkeeper, and sent it behind for a PSG corner.
He should have caught it. He shouldn't have punched it. It was easy catch.
Di Maria with a corner then. Here it is. It's flicked on by substitute Cavani, but he couldn't find a teammate in black. Chong then races for the ball, slides it out. Throw into PSG.
Back in.
5 minutes. We're into the 6th minute of added time. Who knows how much time there is to play? Throw-in taken back to Paredes. Paredes now to the left-hand side. Verratti is there. United holding the line on the edge of the box. Verratti plays it to Di Maria, whose cross beyond Thiago Silva at the back post and out for a throw.
And a huge, huge side. We've seen Manchester United fans on the right-hand side that they cannot believe. We didn't meet any Manchester United fans here that really thought it was going to happen tonight. And even with 2 minutes to go in normal time, he didn't think it was likely to happen. They just wanted one chance. They've got that one chance. This is utterly extraordinary at this level.
They'll be singing their song about having Ole at the wheel. And it looks like he's steering them through to the quarterfinals against all expectations. It is 3-1 to Manchester United. It's 3-3 on aggregate, and United are going through on the away goals rule. They're talking about scrapping the away goals rule.
To be honest, at the moment, I'm arguing completely against that.
Dalot with the throw. Dalot with the throw. Still we play on. We are into the 7th minute of added time. I think the Rashford penalty, which was a brilliant penalty incidentally, came in the 4th minute of added time. Forward from Paredes, headed on by Thiago Silva, bounces for Shaw. Shaw just volleys it high up towards the far side. Meunier heads it forward. Shaw heads it away. PSG, maybe time for one last attack. We don't know. With no idea. Verratti now to Bernat here on the left-hand side. Uses Mbappe. Mbappe begins to come inside. Verratti now again. Referee Scamina. I see no sign of him looking at his watch. Bernat square. They're playing it cool, PSG here. Deep in added time. Mbappe back to Bernat again. Bernat, the cross has got to come surely. And here it is now from Verratti into the penalty area. Oh, a stretch from Marquinhos. Now was he blocked? Was he blocked by Luke Shaw? He went down, Marquinhos, and the referee's having none of it.
I'm with the referee. I'm absolutely with the referee there. There was more a foul on Manchester United player than it was a foul by him there. He has to stand strong in that situation. He does stand strong. I think he's thrown himself to the ground there. Don't think it was anything wrong with that. Referee, I think, has got it right again.
PSG facing knockout in the last 16 of the Champions League for a third consecutive season. This will go down extremely badly here in the French capital. De Gea, long and forward from him. Rashford jumps for it with Meunier. Still no sign. We are now in the 8th minute. We are now in the 9th minute of added time.
Any amount of time.
And still, referee Scamina says, go on, play on. It's a throw into Manchester United,
fair,
though.
4 or 5 minutes were wasted on the penalty and the VAR, so...
It's got to be added on. UEFA said that. Shaw heads it forward. Ball whacked forward by Meunier. And
is Lukaku centre back?
Lukaku now, who is not fully fit, is playing in the back line for Manchester United. Di Maria, maybe one final attack. Di Maria loses it after McTominay's challenge. Chong plays it across field. He's given it away to Verratti. Verratti is blocked by Shaw. That's a free kick. That's a yellow card for Luke Shaw.
That's a good yellow card. You've got to do that there under massive pressure. If he loses that ball there, you're under all sorts of pressure there. Another chance to get the ball in the box.
In the 9th minute of added time. By the time this is taken, I think we'll be in the 10th minute. Di Maria is going to take this. PSG send everyone up, apart from Buffon, who's in the centre circle. Di Maria waits to take this. Cavani makes the run. Here it is from Di Maria, headed away by Lukaku on the edge of the box for Manchester United. Is that it? Is that it? It is! The final whistle goes in the Parc des Princes, and Manchester United players in the pink shirts run all over the place. Off they go to celebrate with their thousands of fans in the corner. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is surrounded. He peels off that golden bib and he walks away and he goes to shake hands with Thomas Tuchel, who just turns to him. I think Thomas Tuchel came across there, and because of the celebrations he wasn't able to shake hands, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has gone out of his way to chase after him and shake hands with him. But what an achievement. That is remarkable for Manchester United. They are the first team in the history of the Champions League and the European Cup to lose by 2 goals at home in the first leg and still go through the tie. That is history for Manchester United in this great competition.
I'd put it more in history. I'd put it as magical. Not only have they done it, John, but they have done it with a team that's missing 10 players, that's missing world-class players, with what we've been seeing as a rookie manager, a stand-down manager, who's adapted and changed and played tactics that you wouldn't have considered and adapted them all the way through the game. There have been amazing performances. There were shambles for 35 minutes and they rode their luck and they grew and grew and grew into the game. There were some performances tonight that were, again, off the scale. We hardly mentioned McTominay, but he was brilliant tonight, wasn't he? His tackling, his bravery, all the way through the game. But you go through every one of those players in that second half to completely and utterly keep that confidence and that belief that they could still do it, and then to hold off the last 10 minutes and say, no, we're going to sit, and then we're going to go for the last 10 minutes, and we're going to get it. And should I say the last 20 minutes, John?
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is now appeared again, and he's walked out onto the pitch and he's hugging Romelu Lukaku. 2 goals from him tonight, but also played on when he clearly was not fit. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now calls across Lindelof and gives him a ruffle of the hair. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, with his with his own personal history in this competition, has now, as the Manchester United manager, overseen really what is one of the most remarkable performances by an English club in European competition to knock out this Paris Saint-Germain team against all the odds. And he walks now. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going around all of the PSG players who are disconsolate. They are still standing out there. They cannot believe what's happened to them. While the Manchester United players in the other corner, red smoke bombs have gone off from the United fans who are singing their song about Ole at the wheel.
Well, they just sat, didn't they? They had the 2-1. They thought there was a kind of a chance to see out the game. There's the unlikelihood of Manchester United breaking and getting that other goal. And they tried a few attacks now and again, but they didn't force the issue, PSG. And that is one extraordinary chance to take when you're only clinging on by a goal. And by the end, when they were getting corners, they didn't get a corner in the end. A penalty was given.
One
corner. But that is all they've needed. And we said right at the top of the programme, have Manchester United got a chance? Well, it was a very, very small chance. A reasonably small chance. But you've got two world-class strikers up front. Well, those both scored goals. And, OK, Lukaku gets two of them. But the pressure on that penalty kick, on that young man Rashford, is absolutely stunning. Well done him for doing it.
Yeah, VAR certainly played a part. The newly introduced VAR. Without it, United would not have had that penalty that was given. And Kimpembe is still standing out on the pitch, all on his own. One of the United players has thrown his shirt into the United fans.
It's Mbappe lying in the corner.
Mbappe as well, lying on his back in the box, all on his own with his hands on his head. Marquinhos is there as well. I mean, what a contrast. But what a night. What a night. Amazing stuff. Final score, Paris Saint-Germain 1, Manchester United 3. 3-3 on aggregate, and Manchester United are through to the quarter-finals, winning on away goals.
Where do you begin with that? Because there are so many storylines, aren't there, Pat?
I'm not a Man United fan. I am grinning from ear to ear right now of what I saw there. I mean, football, as Fergie said, bloody hell. But the stories, even just the kids that come on, and every one of them looking fabulous, believing in themselves. The awfulness of Manchester United and their tactics at the start of the game. The complete disbelief that there was any chance to do it when they lost that goal and it was 1-1. The only people that believed in it was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the guys that were standing beside him.
I'm just watching. That's Paul Pogba out there as well, isn't he? Involved in the celebrations. Obviously suspended tonight. He's got a grey hooded top on, and he's absolutely.
Do you think he gets back into the team? Because to be honest, I mentioned McTominay. It's not because he's Scottish. He was unbelievable.
Well,
tonight.
do you know, Charlie Pat said exactly the same thing in the studio, didn't you, Charlie Adam? For the full time, you singled out McTominay as well.
I thought he was just, like Michael Carrick in there tonight. Calm, composed, won every tackle, like a seasoned pro. And playing in Paris was incredible. And, if he's not got the job tomorrow morning, then there's something wrong.
Charlie, I used the word gallus about the way he played.
Oh, it was incredible. Like you say, you'd think he'd played maybe, played 100 games in the Champions League. He played 250 games for Man United. He just sat there composed. He broke up the play, showed good quality. Him, Pereira and Fred, they never looked at a place. And that was a worry for us before the game, thinking, going away in Paris, can they do it? Different class. And that's why as a manager you trust your players and you give them an opportunity. You've done that tonight.
I've seen one United fan, I'll paraphrase this because it's not necessarily polite in places, but run onto the pitch with a pen and a piece of paper now, Woodward.
You got to give him a job. Tomorrow morning the job's done.
But right, so the VAR decision is one thing, and I think if that was given against you, you would be fuming, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there will be anger from Paris Saint-Germain, and I think the majority of people will understand that anger. But from what Solskjaer did on the getting the job and all of that, the different tactics he employed in one game.
He changed the whole formation 3 or 4 or 5 times in the game, different spot. Man United struggled all night at right back, and that was the problem at the start. And then, at times, Ashley Young got caught ball watching. Mbappe, Di Maria nearly got in at one point, but he was offside. So it's people said tactically, will he be good enough? For me, he's shown again tonight why he should be given the job and why.
Yeah. Charlie, you're talking about the tactics, and for that first 35 minutes, it was a mess. It was an utter mess.
It was, but you've got to be brave as a manager to make it. Listen, everybody thinks that the guy was injured. I think he limped off there, thinking, "Get me off the pitch." But yes. I think at times as a manager, you have to make a big decision, and he made a big decision, taking Bailly off. He knew that he was struggling, and he thought, you know what, I'll put Ashley Young, who's done extremely well from at right back, put him there and bring Young a lot on, and listen, we always knew that PSG would have parts of the game and a lot of possession, but for Man United to come away with that after they looked dead and buried first leg, it's sensational. That for them, they'll be thinking they've won the Champions League the way they'll be celebrating tonight.
Charlie, one thing, just very quickly on that tactical thing there. Do you know when he made all the tactical changes after 35 minutes and then 3 or 4 different adaptations after that?
Yeah.
Every time he made it, I completely understood why he did it.
Absolutely,
and that's absolutely got it.
And that's what the top managers do. They see things in the game that you've got to try and affect the opposition. And at times, even at the end there, he put Lukaku at the back, probably because he was knackered. But
I'm not sure you could claim that as tactical genius, could you? But
it's we were saying, didn't we? As soon as when he got the goal, they had no centre half to bring on from the bench. He put Lukaku there, probably out of his own thought, Lukaku, but. No, this what a result for the whole team and the players and the staff and the supporters there. It was sensational.
Here are some of the tweets coming in. Reese, I'm a Liverpool fan. Full credit to United tonight. They played with a team like that with so many injuries and they can be proud. Saketh, the beauty of football. Well done, Manchester United. And that's from a Liverpool fan. Peter, no Pogba, no Martial, no Matic, no Herrera, no Mata, no Lingard. It was a tactical masterclass. McLennan, just announce him as permanent manager now. The only other manager who gave us this kind of hope with a depleted squad was Sir Alex. No one else. And I see so many comments flying around at the moment, John Murray, from United fans saying they have got their club back. And the players all hugging the fans at the end. There are kids from the academy that have come on and played tonight and been brought on for those last 15, 20 minutes. That, in many ways, matters as much, it seems, as the win.
Yeah. If it is their intention, and certainly, with almost every day that goes by, it looks as though it is their intention that they will give him the job. I would still say what they've got at the moment is obviously working so well. Why change anything now? It's working very well.
No, I'm not talking about the permanent job. What I'm talking about is the United fans who are saying they have their club back under this man.
Well, that's unquestionably the feeling that they have. You just have to walk along amongst the Manchester United supporters, as we've done over the course of the past 24 hours here in Paris, to know that that's very much the feeling that they have, and this will only further that.
Do you know, can I say something? We were walking towards the ground here, and Juliet said to us that she met a couple of fans earlier on, Man United fans, and they'd been offered tickets for €500 each, and they said that's not worth it. Yeah, it would have. Absolutely, yeah, it would have been. To talk about this game for the rest of your life and having been in
these are up with the big nights. These are up there with winning the Champions League for this group. This is them writing their own history now.
Yeah, people will compare it, I think, Charlie, to the Juventus semi-final tie.
Yeah, well, these are the big moments. Roy Keane's, moment of magic, scoring that goal from the corner against Juventus. McTominay's performance tonight illustrated how good Man United were. The drive and determination for such a young kid, and played a handful of games for Man United. He looked like a seasoned pro in there, and different class. And listen, as playing in England, it's great to see another team in the quarterfinals.
Is that Manchester United's biggest night and best night in the Champions League since they last won it, John, as a historian of the game?
Well, I think probably you would have to say.
Admittedly, I'm asking you to do that off the top of your head, but
I mean, I've just, as I said there, you can only say that this is one of the great results by any English club in the Champions League. So therefore, for Manchester United themselves, this would very much go down in amongst the list of the top memories.
On comebacks as well. You look at PSG's record in the Champions League. They had let's be honest, before the game, nobody fancied Man United apart from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his 18 players, and maybe a handful of fans would have thought, yeah, we've got half a chance. To come and do what they've done is incredible, and it just shows the spirit that he's managed to bring into the club and the players.
He's actually added. He's known where their strengths were, so he's got those strikers, and he's managed to keep them fit there and used them absolutely in the right way. He's also used that one thing, and this isn't luck. knowing that PSG, I used the word vertigo before about them when they get to this level. They have got a bit of that. There's no doubt.
A bit of edginess, didn't they? We knew that. They were a bit vulnerable because of the past records, being in this position, and they've blown it, and they've done it again tonight. So it's
really. There's so many things you want to talk about this. I've just watched our friend from the Times walking by there. He's got to get that down to 800 words. Good luck. You've no chance to get that down to 800 words, because it's absolutely, there's too much to put into that report.
Is that Henry?
Yeah.
Oh, so Henry Winter just tweeted 3 minutes ago, this is the real Manchester United, playing with belief, youth, commitment, playing for each other, playing for the shirt, making light of absentees, refusing to be overawed by famous opponents, never ever giving up. It's the United of Solskjaer, it's the United of Ferguson.
He's just done his work on the internet, isn't he? That's him done for the night. The atmosphere sounds incredible.
He's not done for the night, by the way, because he's written his 800 or 1,000 words, and then they've scored in the last second.
Is it to rip up and go again?
Right, but he brought on 3 teenagers, didn't he? The 3 substitutes, Dalot, Chong, and then Mason Greenwood for his debut, who, as I mentioned, will be back in class on Friday morning.
But that felt like, certainly discussed here in the studio, Charlie, it felt like there was a shot we saw of him talking to Ashley Young, Solskjaer, with a piece of paper and telling him to go narrower and virtually playing with a back 5.
Yeah.
To soak it up, and you said, and then 2 of the kids will come on, 5 minutes to go, and try and hit them on the break.
And that's what they've done. Obviously, if you're trying to be criticising at times, the young kids they try to be exuberant, Chong, and they lose the ball late on. But listen, that's excitement and enjoyment of being there. But to be able to use someone like Rashford, his strength of running behind, like Lukaku, we said before the match, he has to have a big performance like a Drogba tonight, who's strong and powerful up there. 2 great goals, 2 different types of goals. Poacher's goal for the spill of Buffon, and the next one of reading away the defensive mistake. So 2 great goals for him, and then obviously a penalty. What a great composure.
All right, let's deal with the penalty. Penalty for you?
I'm really interested to hear what you've got to say, because as I mentioned, we haven't got a television. Thanks very much.
Well avoided having to answer that question then, because you haven't got.
But give us the.
We didn't see it. I did not see any handball there.
Not for me. Penalty, definitely not a penalty, but you take that.
Okay,
so to last week's Manchester City with Otamendi.
Kimpembe turned his back, and his arm was out. Not massively out, but at a slight angle out from his body. He had his head turned, and it hit the back of it. It sort of hit his elbow, hit the back of his arm. And I don't think he was in the way that Otamendi was, putting his arms out and then trying to retract it. He couldn't, because he just turned his back on it and jumped. Isn't that right, Charlie?
He did. He turned his back and jumped. Should he? No, a proper defender, a Tony Adams, would he just stood there and took it in the face, or would he have tried to hit it in the chest? Maybe, but listen, when it hits your arm,
if you make yourself bigger, you can give a handball. But it didn't feel like that he was making himself bigger.
He wasn't. I think he turned his back to try and block the shot. But listen, when you put your arms in a position where the ball can actually strike your arm, you're giving the referee a difficult situation, you know what I mean? And listen, VAR tonight, if we never had VAR, it would never have been a penalty, it would have been a corner, and we never knew what would happen. United probably been at the Champions League. So as a United player and a fan, they'll take it, but as a neutral, I don't think it was a penalty. But we move on from it, and it was good to see another team in the quarterfinals.
The one other thing, we go to a lot of these European games and World Cup games, and every now and again you come across one where you think they'll do studies in that game. They will. The UEFA will do studies on it. Reports will be written about it. And 3, 4, 5 years from now, they will bring it out and say, look, this is the adaptations and changes you make at these various times. Charlie, you've done your badges, haven't you?
Yeah.
And it's that sort of thing, isn't it? You'll look at games like that and go, wow. And you'll dissect them and you'll write reports. And it is one of those games. It's right up there with the special, different, monumentally big changes, but well-meaning and understood changes that he made during the game. So,
but how PSG did not take advantage in that first half when United had their shortcomings.
They were lucky. They were lucky then, United.
Let's bring Julien Laurent into this, French football journalist, and maybe with his colours slightly attached to a Paris Saint-Germain mask. That would be fair, wouldn't it, Julien?
I think lower.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah. Philippe Auclair has tweeted, I think, that he didn't think Manchester United deserved to win, but Paris Saint-Germain did deserve to lose.
Yeah, he's probably right. I think for me, it's more a game that PSG lost than Manchester United that won it. I think having 2 shots in the second half, one on the arm of Kimpembe and the second one being the penalty, I think sums it up. I think the 2 mistakes that PSG made in the first half as well to gift United 2 goals. The only way United could have won that game from the beginning was if PSG were making those kind of stupid mistakes, either because they were too arrogant or because they were not focused enough. And if United were defending really deep and not really playing any sort of attacking football, and that's exactly what happened.
Was Thomas Tuchel outthought by Solskjaer?
I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer outthought anyone. I don't think Thomas Tuchel could have done anything differently. I thought it's not his fault if Thilo Kehrer makes that stupid back pass. It's not his fault if Gigi Buffon, as good as the keeper he is, makes a stupid mistake like he does. And if the referee gives a penalty, that is not a penalty either. That's not Thomas Tuchel's fault. I think PSG didn't take the chances. I think they were the better side, and they made stupid mistakes that cost them eventually. And at that level, you can't make mistakes like that.
How much do you think the debrief and the analysis that will go on in the French media over this, and within Paris Saint-Germain itself, will put it down to a bad VAR decision? Or won't put it down to Paris Saint-Germain blowing it again at this stage of the Champions League?
I think it would be a bit of both. I think for sure the referee's performance, especially on that VAR call, the remontada against Barcelona 2 seasons ago, the referee didn't have VAR and made a lot of mistakes. So do PSG feel at the time, and they will feel again today that they were harshly done by the ref. That doesn't say that mentally they were probably, towards the last 20 minutes, you could tell they got a bit fragile mentally. And you could tell that the players who were on the pitch, who were there in Barcelona as well 2 years ago, you could feel that they were a bit shaky. And I think that was also the biggest danger going into that game, is that, okay, what do they still have in their mind about what happened 2 years ago, where they crumbled so incredibly, and they crumbled in a way again tonight as well. And that's not the referee's fault. That's not Thomas Tuchel's fault either. It's also the players' fault, because there's a point where they maybe try to control the game too much instead of trying to score that third goal. Kylian Mbappe has a glorious chance one-on-one to score that third goal, and he misses it, and he was not there 2 years ago. But for the ones who were there, maybe there was a shade of what happened at Barcelona 2 years ago as well.
L'Équipe, their headline at the moment is simply nightmare. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Does that sum it up?
Yeah, I think it is. It's again, no one has ever done what PSG did tonight. No one has ever done what they did or suffered 2 years ago and what they suffered tonight. And again, they're writing history, but for the wrong reasons and in the wrong situation and wrong context. And I think it is a nightmare for them. They saw themselves in the quarterfinals after the first leg, maybe too much. And once again, it's coming to haunt them.
Are you giving Solskjaer any credit?
For me, it's a
No, but it's an interesting. I'm interested because you have a completely different perspective on it to everything else that's coming in, and I think that's quite balanced.
I don't think United played football tonight. They didn't play football. That was not football to me. It's a bit what Jurgen Klopp said when they played United at Old Trafford 10 days ago. It's similar. They sat deep and they defended the whole time. And they exploited 2 mistakes in the first half, but didn't create anything whatsoever. And in the second half, they created even less and got a penalty. And credit to them. They are the team going through. And Solskjaer will probably be vindicated for his back five and started with something a bit different than he usually does. But for me, they didn't play that much football. But yet, they still won the game. So he deserves some sort of credit, I guess.
I think, Julian, it's Charlie Adam here. I think it's important that, Solskjaer knew where he was up to and what players he had available to him. So you have to play to the strengths of your team. And it's up to Paris Saint-Germain to come and break them down. At times they did. Lack of finishing, a bit of quality, poor quality at times, has cost them the game. I don't think, like you said, I don't think it's Tuchel's fault. I don't think it's anything to do with that. It's not scoring at the right moments. They had enough opportunities and they got sucker punched. And from the English side, I think they'll be delighted. But for Paris Saint-Germain as a club and as a group of players, they'll be devastated.
Julian, I'd also like to say, Julian, just it's Pat here.
Hammy.
It's just, you have to find a way, right? So I think Solskjaer was brilliant tonight, because with so many players missing, with having to only bring on kids, there is probably only one way he could have won that game of football tonight, and he found it. So I'm giving him millions of credit for that, for finding that way. Now, it wasn't beautiful football, you're right, and they weren't coming out and playing against Paris Saint-Germain, you're right. Player for player, they aren't as good a team as PSG, but they found a way. And don't worry, before you come on, I was telling everybody, they got lucky too. They really got lucky too. I understand that, but you need to hope that you get that bit. So I'm giving them credit for understanding that.
Yeah, but that's got nothing to do with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics. For Thilo Kehrer to make that mistake.
Were brilliant. I think his tactics were brilliant tonight.
No.
Because it needs to be defensive tactics.
He played to his own team's strengths. He's not worrying about what Paris Saint-Germain do. It's up to Paris Saint-Germain at home to come and break them down. And I think everybody will say, "Oh yeah, it was negative," but if you look at the goals that they conceded, bad mistakes.
And that's got nothing to do with his tactics.
No, no, Julian, I hate coming over you, Julian, and I'll shut up in a second and let you chat. But he changed from 4-4-2 to start with to 5-4 to 5-3-2, and then he changed later in the second half to 5-4-1, and then he changed to 4-5-1, and then he changed about 6 times in the game. His tactics, they were similar, but the systems that he played them changed all the time, and every one of them, from I'll accept it right now, a biased Manchester United position, they all worked. So I'm giving them lots of credit for that, but I'm not saying for a second United were the better team. Trust me, I'm not saying that. I'll shut up now, Julian. I hate coming across.
No, it's not that. It's just I think he could have changed 25 times his tactics. His tactic didn't have any impact on the game, in the sense that the only way they score their goals is through PSG's mistakes, and that's got nothing to do with his tactics. He could have played 1-1-9 or 1-1-8. That would, you see what I mean? The goals from United didn't come from.
I know, but you've still got to have a structure of how they play.
Let me read some interviews that the players have done to BT. Rashford on the penalty. You keep a cool head. They're the things you practice every day. I wanted to take it. The hardest thing was the wait before, but that's part of the game. It's what you live for. Romelu Lukaku said it was good. We were confident before the game as a pair. It was a pleasure to play with Marcus. We agreed that if he shoots, I'll always follow up. We just keep going. Everything starts at the training ground. We play 5-on-5 or 8-on-8. We do amazing comebacks in training. So it's just natural. 85058 at 5 Live Sports. Get in touch. Ole Ways on Twitter. We're back to where we belong. We've got our identity back with Ole in charge. Congratulations to Ole, the lads, all our fans all over the world, and the United family. Glory, glory, Manchester United. Mike Phelan's official Twitter account. I can't believe he himself has tweeted this, but Mike Phelan's official Twitter account has tweeted a picture of him and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer shaking Marcus Rashford's hand. Now, it's not in the game tonight, but with the quote above it, "Relax, son, we've played in bigger games than this, lad. Breathe and just put it in the net. It's all part of the job." As someone who takes penalties, Charlie, an appreciation of his penalty, because he hadn't had a good game, actually. No. So an appreciation of his penalty. Having not had a brilliant game.
I'm not sure you should be asking me. I missed the last one.
Well, so I know, yeah.
So thanks for that. But no, listen, when you're in that position, he obviously was in that position for England in the World Cup, and he's just using that past experience. He's a calm player on the pitch, you could see, and like you say, the biggest problem for Rashford would have been the problems of the PSG trying to wind them up and delaying the penalty kick, and you just basically have to hit the target, and he done that. He put his foot through that and put it into the net, and it was a good penalty to win the game.
One final thing before we let you go, Julien. At the moment, just looking at the trends in front of me on Twitter, the Paris Saint-Germain player who's trending more than anybody else is Neymar, with about 184,000 tweets. The second most tweeted player, though, is Buffon, with nearly 60,000 tweets. I would imagine he's going to get some stick, is he?
Yeah, and he's about to sign a new deal at the club as well. I'm not sure if tonight's game is going to change that, but there was a big debate before, should Tuchel go with Buffon or with Areola, who arguably is the club's number one, and he clearly chose Buffon for the experience, for the mentality, for the fact that he's been there before and done it before, although never won it, but went far in the competition. And yet that's one of the players who cost them the qualification and the game.
The first question in the press conference yesterday here was to Tuchel was who's going to play in goal. So that was high on the agenda. By the way, what is the French for nightmare? We've been
cauchemar.
Cauchemar. Well done, Trappers.
Yeah. Thanks, Julien.
Pat on head.
I don't know that. Thank you, Julien. We will talk soon. Did you think about not picking up the phone this evening?
No, I would never do that to you.
That's very kind of you. We will see you soon, Julien Laurent.
See you, thank you.
On that.
By the way,
hang on. Yes. Well, you're the award winner. You can button whenever you want.
Listen, I was just going to say on Solskjaer, as we debate about the tactics, but I think what you can say about his managerial ability is, and it was writ large across this performance tonight, that he's clearly instilled belief in the players, and certainly players like Fred and Pereira and obviously Lindelof
and McTominay.
Left it. So that's management, isn't it? That's good management.
It's listen, that was Fred's best game tonight, wasn't it? The three in midfield I thought were excellent, but McTominay obviously I'll give a lot of credit to, because I thought he was like a young version of Michael Carrigan there, calm, composed, was a rash when he wanted to win the ball, showed good qualities when he actually had it. So it was great for them lads, because listen, there's obviously pressure when you play for Man United, and you have to handle that. And when you've got your big players missing, you need the young ones or the ones below to come and step up, and they've done that tonight. And it's a wonderful result for the whole club.
Let's hear it one more time. A remarkable, dramatic night in Paris in the Champions League last 16 tie. United 2-0 down on aggregate from the first leg. They went ahead twice. They were 2-1 up in stoppage time, and then were awarded a penalty.
This one is effectively to put Manchester United through against all expectations and knock out Paris Saint-Germain. And it is Marcus Rashford, 21 years old, against 41 years old Gianluigi Buffon. Rashford steps out to his left. Here he comes up to the ball, and he drives it and scores for Manchester United. They lead 3-1 here in Paris. This is remarkable. What a turnaround. What an achievement this will be for Manchester United and for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who stands there. He's the man in the golden bib, and he's got the Midas touch, no doubt about that, for United. This is something else. United's players run away and celebrate, all in pink. They're in the pink, and they're going through to the quarter-finals.
The other tie has gone to extra time between Porto and Roma. It is 2-1 Porto, 3-3 on aggregate, and would you believe it, John Bennett, it has gone to VAR and a penalty with 5 minutes left in extra time.
VAR is the start tonight in the Champions League. Porto have a chance to win it. It was Florenzi's just been booked for a tug on Fernando. The referee didn't spot it. They called for the VAR, and it was always going to be a penalty unless there was an offside. There was no offside. It took a long time, almost as long as the Manchester United incident. But Porto have a penalty and a chance with 5 minutes to go to take them through to the quarterfinals. So it's incredible. I think Porto are going to win this, chappers.
Okay, is he about to take it? Do you want to do it? Do you want to commentate on it? It's like, yeah.
Let's go for it. Why not? So penalty for Porto, and we've got 5 minutes on the clock. Robin Olsen is in goal for Roma, the successor to Alisson. Big moment for Porto now. And it is Alex Telles who's going to take this penalty against Olsen, and he scores. Perfect penalty. Porto, with 4 minutes to go, take the lead, 4-3 on aggregate. It looks as though they're heading into the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Big VAR decision again.
Just final thoughts then from the Parc des Princes and from Charlie Adam here. The last two nights have been remarkable in the Champions League.
Incredible.
Ajax last night, Manchester United tonight, Spurs are there as well. Porto could be knocking Roma out. Wow.
We did say before the game, didn't we, United have to take belief from Ajax in that result, and they have tonight, and it's why it's the the best club competition in the world, you know, and the quality and the thing. But like you say, we all love VAR, don't we, if we can get the right result in the end.
Pat Nevin.
There's very few nights you would use the word magical football. You see great games, you see enjoyable games, but there was a magical night to be a football fan here, in particular a Manchester United fan. I am jealous of you Manchester United fans. You will still be buzzing this time next week.
Tobias actually says, I won't sleep till the morning. I'm going to be watching this again and again and again. With a whole load of academy graduates on the pitch, John, with a hero from 99 in charge in the dugout, with no team ever having come back from a 2-0 home defeat in the first leg. That is probably why Pat calls it magical.
Yeah, and that, as we kept saying during the course of the night, whatever he's brought here, I mean, it almost feels that there's a greater force at play. I mean, I don't know, it is... You know, when you think of his previous managerial record, you know, that always counted for absolutely nothing. He has just been able to...
Let me put this in your mind. What's Jose thinking right now?
Well...
What is Jose thinking right now, wherever he is? Is he thinking, they're just down tools on me or what? Or do you actually think he's going to look at himself and think, I never done the right things?
Yeah, he might be thinking, Real Madrid or Paris Saint-Germain.
Wow, yeah, that's another one, you know.
It will happen. It will happen, yeah. But that was a great night of football to witness here in Paris.
Amazing.
And that is why we're a little bit late going to Phil Williams. All yours.